And you all know it. Everybody knows it. You realize you didn't get this president because everything was going well, politically speaking, and this was just the natural course of the evolution of politics in this country. You realize that there are people in this country that are sick and tired and have been sick and tired of being pushed around in this country. And people wanted somebody to fight back, and I mean fight politically back. I mean, why don't you ask, well, you can't ask certain people. Why don't you ask Mitt Romney how he was treated during the 2012 election, how the left treated him, and some of the things that they said about Mitt Romney, that people were just, Mitt Romney straps dogs to the roof of his car and drives. Do you remember some of the ridiculous, do you remember that? Some of the ridiculous things that were said about Mitt Romney. John McCain. Some of the things, John McCain trying to keep the peace, so to speak, with the left. Remember when that woman went up during the campaign and called Obama, what did she say, an Arab or something? I don't know what she said, or a Muslim, and he said no, ma'am, and tried to make the discourse positive. What did the left do? Did they sit and say, oh, what a wonderful man, let's talk about the issues? No, it wasn't even close to anything like that. And you know it. And why is that? Because this is what the left does. The left has no interest in talking to you about the politics of the day. They have no interest in talking to you about the issues. All they want to do is personal destruction, is identity politics. This is what they do. It's because of Democrats, and it's their inability to, number one, admit that they lost an election. And number two, because they're not going to articulate their issues. They're going to make it about personal destruction and identity politics. That's never going to stop. And it's frustrating to me because I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for others. I can speak for myself. But I can tell you, I didn't start this. I have no desire to continue with this. I have no desire to continue with the political division that is happening right now. I want to talk about the issues, but I can't. And a lot of people I know can't, because they can't have because the discussion with the left is pretty simple. They talk to you about gun control. You school them on what is happening with guns. They call you a racist or a homophobe or an idiot or some other language that I can't repeat. I mean, where do you want to go with this? Where do you want to start? Of how upset people are right now that the political discourse and division is being blamed not only on this president, as if it started the day he became a candidate for president and was in office, but this idea that people are just, from the past, are tired of being pushed around. I mean, if you just think about some of the things that have happened recently. How about something that happened so recently that you're probably not even going to hear about it until, well, you're going to hear about it first here, but you'll hear it later on in the morning. You want to talk about hate and political discourse? You ready for this? Listen to this. Jake, you ready? I want you to listen to this. You hear a crowd chanting USA, but you hear a woman in the background who's screaming. Now, what does that sound like to you, Jake? If you were to hear that just on the surface, just that piece of audio, what are you hearing right there? What does that sound like to you?
Protesting.
Sounds like some protesting. Okay. You know where that audio came from? That audio came from yesterday. It was a rally for Marsha Blackburn, GOP senatorial candidate in Tennessee. That's a person who had to be removed from the crowd chanting USA. You know how they usually do that when somebody is chanting or yelling something vulgar, or they're yelling something political and they want to drown them out, so the crowd yells USA. Do you know when that happened? Do you know when that disruption took place? That was when a woman decided that she was going to interrupt a moment of silence for the victims of the massacre on Saturday at the Pittsburgh synagogue. And while there was a moment of silence, she decided to scream out, Marsha Blackburn is a white supremacist. And she kept screaming during a moment of silence. You tell me who's doing. And then after that, we find out it was from Black Lives Matter, and they were chanting Black Lives Matter. Okay, you tell me who's doing this. You tell me when this is going to stop. This is what's so outrageous. That was yesterday. This is after everything's taken place. We're not even talking about before this weekend. We're talking about hours ago. I don't hear conservatives doing that. I don't hear conservatives running up to people and getting in their face and shoving people. And all right, Ryan's in Naples wanted to comment on this. Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning, Drew. I understand your angst. I agree with you. This is a manufactured, problem by the political left. They're the bullies. They're the angry, the hate-filled, violent ones. And then when somebody reacts, just like any bullies, they blame you for reacting. And this is what they do. They've done it for as long as I've been alive. I'm 35. I've been politically engaged since I was 8 or 9 years old, believe it or not. And I've noted it. The Democrats forever drove me from ever voting for them over the Anita Hill affair with Clarence Thomas because I was so obviously political in nature. And I committed myself to never voting for them again after that and to taking Republicans as they presented themselves to me. As I've gotten older, there's just no question as to who the real problem is in our country politically, and they're not going to stop.
That's the point. That's the ultimate point here, Ryan. The ultimate.
They're going to force us to be violent back.
Yeah. Well, no, we don't need to be violent. We don't. This is the thing. They're not here, and you're right about your point, but the bottom line is really simple. It's just like I said before. If Trump were to go away, let's say he were to go away. Let's say he's just like, you know what, guys, this was a great run. I had a lot of fun, but I've got tons of money and I've got great places to travel to, and I'm out of here. I'm done. And he just leaves the scene. Everything is fine. He just decides he doesn't want to do this anymore. Let's go to that extreme. It's not going to stop. It'll be the next person. It'll be the next president. It'll be the next conservative GOP member. This is what the left does. It's never going to stop with them. That's the point. When somebody says it's all about the president and he's doing this, or it's all about fill in the blank, but they never look at themselves, it's because they're the ones that are doing it. It's because they are going to throw all those accusations out and they'll just make it about the next person and they'll just continue this whole thing. It's never going to stop. Now, what does that mean? If it's never going to stop, then what do we do? There are people that want to rise above this. There are many people that just want all of this political division and go away. And we're told time and time again that, this has to go. We've got to stop. We got to stop being like this. We have to come together. Listen, I'm willing to come together with anybody. I know people that are willing to talk and sit down and talk about the issues and talk about the policies, for example, of Andrew Gillum and what he would bring to the state of Florida and the amount of taxes we're going to have to pay and the destruction of some of the judicial systems because he'll make the choices of the Supreme Court and other judicial picks that'll happen in the state and some of the things that will happen radically in this state. I'm willing to talk about that. But the problem is that when Andrew Gillum makes it about race and makes it about identity politics and goes there, and that's all he cares about talking about and dividing, then how are we supposed to, number one, have the discussion that you claim you want to have, and number two, when you won't even admit that it's you that's doing it, that it's your side that's doing it? So no, this isn't going to go away. The president isn't going to suddenly start to be nice and everybody's going to kumbaya moment here. It's not going to happen because that's not what the left does. That's not what radicals do. They continue to push. And even when there's a president that is there at a podium right after something horrific happens and talks about exactly what people want him to say at that moment in time.
This evil anti-Semitic attack is an assault on all of us. It's an assault on humanity. It will require all of us working together to extract the hateful poison of anti-Semitism from our world.
And the question is, who's ready to do the tough work? Who's ready to do that? And ask yourself who's not. It's Daybreak 92.5, Fox News, up to the minute traffic. Here's Sabrina Katz.
Good Monday morning. Seeing a busy gladiolus right now between Summerlin and Pine Ridge. If you want to hop on McGregor, that's going to be a quicker alternate. And also in Cape Coral, some minor delays on Cape Coral Parkway between Del Prado headed towards Santa Barbara. Also, a construction site at Del Prado and Hancock Bridge Parkway could cause you some major delays this morning. As far as I-75 goes, up to speed right now if you're headed from Corkscrew down to Bonita Beach Road. It is just a 7-minute commute. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
After our cool start with most in the 50s, our lowest temperatures since the spring, we're going to rebound for this afternoon on a beautiful day of weather. Get out and enjoy it. Sunshine for hours, sunny and dry with temperatures in the lower 80s. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
The Fox Business Report is presented by In Guns We Trust, LLC.com in Fort Myers.
From the Fox Business Network, Mercedes-Benz is being accused of being slow to mail safety recall notices and file required reports for more than 1.4 million vehicles. The U.S. government now is investigating. The company says it will work closely with the government. IBM is set to acquire open-source software company Red Hat in a $34 billion stock deal, which the company says will make it the world's #1 hybrid cloud provider. That's when companies use a mix of on-site, private, and third-party public cloud services. Subject to approval, the deal should be done by late 2019. A federal trial in Denver uses racketeering law to target cannabis companies, claiming the business is hurting neighbors' property values. Such lawsuits are one of the risks of a legal business. In some states, that's still illegal under federal law. Similar complaints have been filed in California, Massachusetts, and Oregon. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ann Carrick.
What does building a better bank look like? It starts with building Capital One cafes, warm, inviting places that feel nothing like a typical bank, where you can open an account with no fees or minimums in 5 minutes. And you'll always find people ready to help you, not sell you. Welcome to Banking Reimagined. What's in your wallet?
For consumers only. Offered by Capital One and a member FDIC. Cafes available in select locations. Copyright 2018 Capital One.
Hey, it's Drew Steele visiting with my friend Dave Meister, owner of the Floor Meisters in Naples. Of course, the family has over 75 years of experience in the flooring industry. You know, since you were here last, Dave, in the studio, I hear that you had double hip replacement. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. I had 2 hips put in at the same time. But Miss Sugar helped me get through it, taking care of me for 48 years. We just had our anniversary. I'm back going strong. We are now promoting Gulistan Carpet, which is a new line we just took on. And it has really neat velvet loops and patterns. We have solid colors and tone-on-tone and Berber Flex. This is just a really neat carpet line, and you got to see it to believe it.
So if you haven't been to Floor Meisters, you owe it to yourself. Visit the store, 6281 Naples Boulevard, next to Costco. Whether it's carpet, tile, laminate, hardwood, flooring, they have it all. Call them at 239-596-4964. 239-596-4964 or on the web at floormeisters.com.
Being a letter carrier and walking 20,000 steps, which equals up to about 10 miles a day, it's tough. I really didn't have feet problems. I had back problems. I had had as many epidurals that I could possibly have in 1 year. That was scary. Well, I've been delivering letters to the Good Feet store for over 6 years, and the expert there finally convinced me to try their arch supports.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Keith actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
The people at the Good Feet store really educated me about what the arch supports could actually do, and lo and behold, I have no more back problems. The future I can see now. I couldn't see it before. Where I would be without them, I have no clue. I'm Keith, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Off I-75 on Pine Ridge Road in Naples. Call 552-FEET.
Amendment 3 puts voters in charge of gambling in Florida. That's how it works in many places. Red states like Texas, blue states like California, big states like New York, and small ones like Rhode Island. Even gambling states like New Jersey put voters in charge. That's how it used to work in Florida, too. For decades, gambling issues were decided by voters. Then politicians took that power for themselves. Amendment 3 returns it to the people. In the last decade, casino lobbyists gave nearly $50 million to Florida politicians. So restoring voter control of gambling is a common sense safeguard that reduces corruption and empowers you. Voters across America already have this power. You should too. So vote for you by voting yes on Amendment 3. Paid political advertisement paid for by voters in charge. P.O. Box 1991, Orlando, Florida 32802.
The time is here. Dixie Buick GMC's 2018 model closeout has begun. Incredible price reductions that only happen once a year. Prices on all in-stock 2018 Buick Encores, Envisions, Enclaves, Regals, and LaCrosse are slashed. Save thousands on 2018 in-stock GMC Sierras, Yukons, Canyons, Acadias, and Terrains. The 2019 models are coming. The 2018 savings are here right now. Don't miss the greatest savings of the year, today and tomorrow only at Dixie Buick GMC. We don't just promise, we deliver the best vehicles at the lowest prices in town.
The tradition continues as two of Texas' favorite sons return together, Lyle Lovett and Robert Earl Keane. This Sunday night at 7, Barbara B. Mann Performing Arts Hall at FSW. Reserve seats on sale now at the box office, bbmannpah.com, or call 481-4849. Lyle Lovett and Robert Earl Keane.
All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. When we come back, some news to talk about here in the state of Florida, some of the latest polling. What does it look like for Ron DeSantis and Andrew Gillum? And even in the Senate race, we'll have the latest there. Also, what exactly is Blexit? Kanye West has something to do with it. It's yeah. Look at Jake's like, I want to hear about this. Yep, we'll talk about that coming up. Oh, and by the way, there was a World Series game last night. In case you were wondering, we'll talk about that as well.
This is Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News.
Francis Rooney is a successful businessman, not another politician. Rooney has spent his career in the construction industry, meeting budgets and creating thousands of good-paying jobs. Francis Rooney knows what it takes to make a payroll. Now he's in Congress, shaking up Washington to get results for us, putting middle-class families ahead of politics and fighting for Florida.
I'm Francis Rooney. In the real world, where I come from, talk is cheap and results are what matter. I'll always put Florida families ahead of political games. I'm taking on the politicians, supporting term limits, fighting for tax cuts, ensuring that our veterans get the care they deserve, and securing over $1 billion to protect our water and our way of life.
Francis Rooney is taking on Washington and getting results.
I'm Francis Rooney, candidate for Congress, and I approved this message.
Paid for by Rooney for Congress.
Fast is the nation's largest gig speed network. Beyond Fast is the complete reliability of 4G LTE backup. That means whether you're downloading big files, swiping credit cards, or emailing your sales team or customers, your business can go on even if the power goes out. When you're a business owner, you need speed and reliability. For a limited time, make the switch to Comcast Business and get an amazing deal on fast, reliable internet. Just one more way Comcast Business goes beyond other providers. Get started with 75 megabit internet for $49.95 per month when you add 2 voice mobility lines. Call 1-800-501-6000 today. Comcast Business. Beyond fast.
Offers 11/21/18. Restrictions apply. New business customers only. 2-year agreement required. Early termination fee applies. Equipment taxes and fees extra subject to change. Connection Pro backup limited to up to 6 hours.
Hey, quick question. If I asked you for, I don't know, $1,000 because I said I needed food for my son, but used it on golf clubs instead, would you give me the money?
No.
Or I needed your money to give John a raise, a big one.
Wait, your employee, John?
No offense, but he's ruining you financially. Hold on. Is Bob asking you for money again?
Yes.
How many times do I have to tell you? Say no to Bob.
I know.
Sound familiar? That's because it is. The Lee County School District gives the superintendent a raise when they say the district needs more money, being $10 million over budget on the Bonita Springs High School. The district using millions of your tax dollars for unauthorized expenses? Well, this decision seems easy. Guys,
just say no.
Say no to the half-cent sales tax.
Paid political advertisement paid for by Conservative Coalition for Florida's Future. 4645 Southeast 11th Place, number 104, Cape Coral, Florida 33904.
Now, this is a Wink News update.
This is Corey Lazar with Wink News. In the aftermath of the shooting over the weekend at a synagogue in Pittsburgh, Governor Rick Scott says there needs to be security improvements. He announced Florida Highway Patrol will be increasing patrols at religious institutions across the state. And tonight, a vigil will be held in Fort Myers for those who lost their lives Saturday. Rabbi Mark Sack is with Temple Judea.
And we were all pretty horrified by the scenes from Pittsburgh. We refuse to give in to those acts of hatred. You respond to these acts of violence by insisting that life must go on and that we're all going to do it together.
The vigil in Fort Myers will be held at Temple Bethel in Fort Myers at 6 p.m. The temple is asking those of all faiths to join in. There are some brand new security measures at Krista McAuliffe Charter Elementary School in Cape Coral. An area that used to be open for anyone to walk through is now shut and locked during the school day. Visitors now cannot just walk through the breezeway. They have to go into the school's front office. And they now must show proper ID. Principal Kevin Brown says the school worked with the police department to make several security improvements this year, including a new surveillance system. Within the next month, you can also expect a new guard station at the high school entrance in Cape Coral. The trial against an accused Lake Boys gang member will continue today. Prosecutors are trying to convince jurors that Tommy Williams is part of the gang. The defense tried to prove that the suspected Lake Boys were not involved in typical gang activities. I'm Corey Lazar, Wink News Now.
Wink News traffic.
Good Monday morning. Seeing a busy Gladiolus right now between Summerlin and Pine Ridge. If you want to hop on McGregor, that's going to be a quicker alternate. And also in Cape Coral, some minor delays on Cape Coral Parkway between Del Prado headed towards Santa Barbara. Also, a construction site at Del Prado and Hancock Bridge Parkway could cause you some major delays this morning. As far as I-75 goes, up to speed right now. If you're headed from Corkscrew down to Bonita Beach Road, it is just a 7-minute commute. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News Now.
Wink Weather Authority.
After our coolest start in months across the area, literally our lowest since the spring, we're going to rebound this afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, another beautiful fall day with highs for many in the 80s. As we look ahead to your Tuesday and Halloween, plenty of sunshine, few passing clouds for all the trick-or-treaters this year. For your Wednesday evening, looks good with only a few passing clouds. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
At the Naples Trust Company, our clients ask, when is the right time to talk to their adult children about wealth transfer? No matter how much financial experience your children may have, inheriting your wealth may be a dramatically different and complex responsibility. Consider, how can an irrevocable trust protect your heirs? How can elections at death create tax differences that impact the ultimate payout? And when one parent remarries, how can the design of a trust protect the assets to be inherited? The path to these answers all start with one important conversation, a family meeting. We assist families in structuring a comfortable and effective forum to discuss your estate plan, provide guidance and answer questions during the discussion, all with the goal of a smooth transition of wealth when the time comes. Contact the Naples Trust Company for your copy of Is It Time for the Conversation with Your Children? Visit us at our Goodlett Frank Road office in Magnolia Square or online at NaplesTrustCompany.com. That's NaplesTrustCompany.com.
A division of the Sanibel Captiva Trust Company. All investments involve risk and are not guaranteed.
Tonight on Wink News at 6. From barking like a champ to fierce tail wagging.
Hey, boy. Yeah, hi. That was a good boy.
What would your dog do if confronted by a stranger?
He wanted to get petted, and then he showed me how he can jump nicely on the couch.
Wink goes undercover to reveal how average family pets protect their homes when their owners are away.
Good boy.
See the fascinating results.
Great watchdog.
Tonight on Wink News at 6.
Next, Rachel, an apple a day.
Do you like being a fake doctor?
Could never keep him away. The resident's Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Are you somebody that might have been a good real doctor?
No.
Then we're literally chopping off years and cooking this mom up with a jaw dropper of a makeover. Plus, spooky Halloween treats. And a tray roast supper. Next, Rachel.
Rachel Ray, this morning at 10 on WXCW.
Hi, I'm Rick Johnson of Rick Johnson Auto Tire. It's fall and leaves are falling. Wait a minute, only coconuts are falling in Florida, but at Rick Johnson Auto Tire, tire prices are falling. I have slashed all the tire prices. We have the best prices in Southwest Florida.
Wait a minute. No falling prices.
Yes. $9.95 oil changes with a filter and rotate your tires.
I have no idea how we're doing this.
Come to any of our 11, no wait, 12 locations. Woohoo! New location on Colonial Boulevard in Fort Myers.
12? That's a dozen. Rick's so good he even named a street after me. I'm not kidding, it's Rosie's Court.
Come on in for while the prices are falling. Only at Rick Johnson Auto Tire.
Fair and honest, tell a friend.
Don't forget, $9.95 oil changes, and the prices have fallen.
$9.95 oil change plus filter up to 5 quarts, 5W30 or 5W20. Includes 25-point inspection and free tire rotation on most cars.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
To Daybreak with Drew Steele.
Here comes a 1-2 pitch. The Red Sox win the World Series. 5-1 the final tonight. And the best team in baseball wins it all in 2018.
Yeah, I would say, just in case you didn't know, but I'm pretty convinced that a whole lot of folks here in Southwest Florida know very well. As a matter of fact, I would say some of them are still sleeping at this point because they've been too busy celebrating the fact that the Red Sox won the World Series last night. How awkward it has to be to win the World Series on somebody else's field. That's the second time, right? Isn't that the second time that the Dodgers... this year with the Sox and last year with the Astros that the team celebrated on the Dodgers field? That's got to be
just a bigger party when they get back to Boston.
Yeah.
Man, I'd love to be there.
Well, hey, listen, think about the party we're going to have here. Think about when they come spring training, what it's going to be like. The one thing about Brian Freeman from the newsroom is here, by the way. One thing about the Red Sox competing and then the Red Sox winning the World Series is what it does to our town, this area, because we are Fenway South.
Yes,
and, we are. That's... by the way, I wonder if when the president is here on Wednesday, he won't be at Fenway South, but I wonder what that's going to be like if he's going to mention, the Red Sox.
I sure hope so.
If he makes a reference to the fact that the spring, that would be pretty cool if somebody whispers in his ear that, hey, Fenway South is right down the street. What are you making a face for, Jake? Why do you look like you look so awful? Were you a Dodgers fan? Look like you look so sad, like your goldfish died. Is everything okay?
Not a big fan of baseball.
Oh, is that why you want us to move on from the baseball talk?
No, it's all good. It's all
all right.
Won't be able to get a ticket for spring training here. You know that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's tough anyway. They sell out a lot of.
Well, let's just hope it's warmer than it is today.
Oh, come on.
Listen, for some people, for this morning, if you haven't had a chance to walk outside, don't walk outside yet until you get your sweatsuit on or your parka. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. It's
chilly.
Yeah, when you jump from 3 or 4 months of the 90s and the heat and the oppressive humidity that we always go through, up to or down to where we are today, I'm cold, man. It's cold.
My wife and father-in-law this past weekend have been in North Carolina, and she woke up to 36-degree weather yesterday.
Yeah, I heard up north it's already 30s and 40s. It's already there.
We know why we live here.
All right, a couple of things I wanted to talk about this morning with you. One has piqued Jake's interest because I guess he is a victim, and the neighborhood has been victimized by these car break-ins, right, Jake? Is that what you were talking about earlier?
Yep, pretty much everybody on my block, including myself. Most recently, Thursday, a gentleman, all his trucks were broken into. About $200 in cash was taken, which I know you should never leave $200 in cash in your truck with the doors unlocked.
Or guns.
But yeah, it is happening every other day, it seems like, in a different house.
You said something, you made the statement, unlocked.
Yeah, it should have been locked.
Why don't people lock their car doors? I've talked to people like, it's too much trouble.
When mine got broken into, it's just the security of not wanting to think that would happen, I think, if that makes sense.
In other words, it's psychological. They think that if their doors are not locked, that they live in a safe neighborhood. I don't
Not
understand.
necessarily. I'm just saying that they would like to think that they live in a safe neighborhood so they could not lock
I don't need to lock. It's a safe neighborhood. I don't need to lock my car doors.
Exactly.
Is that what you're saying?
That's like not wearing a seatbelt, thinking that you're never going to get in a car accident.
No, I agree.
I hope my dad's not listening. My parents are in town. It's the 6 month Steele, and they're here enjoying the weather and listening to the program. And every time I mention my family or my dad or somebody, he calls me out not too long after. The good thing is he doesn't text me because he's got a dumb phone. He doesn't have anything. He's a smart man because he's got a dumb phone.
Exactly. He certainly is.
He used to joke that when he would forget to wear a seatbelt, he was doing it because just in case the car drifted off into off a bridge and into a waterway, that we would be able to, or he would be able to get out of the car quicker to save us. This instead of,
and we lived in the middle of the country.
Yeah, and we lived in Manhattan. So they're okay. No, but I always thought that was. Clever.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it was like, listen, I can get out of the car quicker to save you if we ever run into a raging river off the bridge. What bridge? There's no raging water for hours. You're gonna have to drive hours away to get to a raging river.
But dads can say anything just to make you feel better.
Yeah. So all right. So we didn't even talk about this. Where were these break-ins? What's going on here? What area is this?
Well, the one thing that is nice about Gateway community. It's gated, and it's got a lot of security cameras, but that hasn't stopped these guys from coming in through a hole in the fence, of the perimeter fence, and they're getting in and going through these cars, stealing. I think they stole 7 cars out of a gated community.
Wow!
I mean, this is pretty serious. We've been talking about, and on Wink Television, they've been showing a lot of video. I mean, see everything going on. Beautiful video. Unfortunately, tragic video because the cars are being broken into. People aren't locking them, as we heard. Money being stolen out.
Yeah.
And,
well, this isn't even in Cape Coral. We're talking about Fort Myers.
Yeah. Yeah, it's... Yeah, it's a situation. Obviously, police are going to step up, and two, they've got to do something about that hole in the fence. Then again, the other side of it, and I used to live in a gated community over in Weston. We had kids breaking into cars. They lived in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I think the idea. I think we're past this, right? We're past the idea that gated communities are safer.
Yeah.
For some, I don't know that that's necessarily the case. I wonder has anybody ever done a study, or do we just assume that? Has a study ever been done between gated communities and non-gated communities? I mean, if you have a gated community and you're surrounded by an area that's not, the best community in the world, or you have some bad areas close by, statistically, the numbers are going to be a little, you know what I'm saying? You can manipulate numbers to make it look because you've got the gate,
Are you familiar with Cooper City?
Yeah.
Broward County?
Yeah, sure.
Has a wall around it.
Yeah.
The city has a wall around it. Doesn't stop the crime. Just has a wall around it.
Hey, listen, don't say that if you talk, but immigration.
Yeah.
No, but truthfully, all right, we'll get into that topic because when you're in a migrant caravan and you're asking for jobs and you need some help and then the Mexican government says, hey, listen, we can help you out with that. And they're like, no, we're making our way to the U.S. No, thanks. Did you hear that? Did you hear about that? Oh, you didn't hear about that story. Did you know about this story?
I heard it.
Yeah, so the Mexican government wanted people in the caravan to know that, hey, listen, just stay here and we'll give you asylum. We'll give you work assignments. We'll help you out. We'll get you jobs. And they were like, nope, we're heading to the U.S. We don't want to be here. well, no, we're offering you asylum, and you're concerned about where you came from. Well, you could stay here. As a matter of fact, we'll get you some work. And
maybe they're getting paid too much money to go to the border.
Yeah. All right. Anything? There are a couple of stories. There's so much that's going on.
Yeah, it's kind of a jumbled kind of day.
I think these two issues with security. One has to do with the Cape Charter School, and the other one has to do with in the aftermath of the shooting at the synagogue in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
The governor has talked about this as well. Right?
Yeah, and you look at that, and then you look at, obviously your eyes come local. They come local and start going, well, what are we doing here? Florida Highway Patrol is going to be increasing patrols at religious institutions statewide. This is just not synagogues, all religious institutions. And you and I were talking off the air, and it's not uncommon for a synagogue, and even now other places were churches, to have some sort of security in the area, if not more than one police officer or off-duty police officer, during the time that there are events at the synagogue or at the church.
Yeah.
So it seems like this may be our next area. This is, by the way, the worst massacre, I believe, at a synagogue in the United States in United States history. Mm-hmm. And it happened in Pittsburgh. Now, that brings us also over to school security, the parallel, and new security measures being brought up at McAuliffe Charter Elementary in Cape Coral. They're implementing a lot of the things that we're seeing at other schools. You're going to have to get in by ID. You're going to have to go through the check. You're going to have to go through the system, and all the other doors are going to be locked. So we're seeing this. Here's one more step in that process that we're seeing around the Southwest Florida, across the nation at this point.
Yeah, and it's something that you feel like it should have been in place a while ago. I know some schools, even in Naples, many of the schools, high schools, had IDs, locked doors. I know that a couple of times when I had to go visit some folks that I know at some of the schools, had to show the ID. They had to go through, making sure they have a tag. You do go through certain measures, and it's hard to believe that it wasn't across the board, that everybody wouldn't have these types of security measures, and how it feels as if it's common sense, and how there are just some who want to twist and manipulate what people are trying to accomplish and the good that they're trying to do into making it some kind of political gun control.
Oh, that again.
It's the whole flip. And listen, you don't think that happened. David Hogg was on MSNBC. There was a Hogg sighting, and you knew that was going to happen on the heels of this tragedy in Pittsburgh. And we're going to play a little bit of audio there, and you can only imagine some of what was said. All right, I was going to go to the call. I was going to go to Susie, but she's no longer there. Is there one thing you wanted to touch on?
This is a totally different story if you're willing to go there.
A totally different
story. One that you don't have.
Okay, well, then go for it.
An ethics panel has found probable cause against the Florida mayor accused of soliciting sex from a resident in exchange for installing speed bumps in her neighborhood.
What?
Yeah. Florida Commission on Ethics said it found probable cause that Lantana Mayor David Stewart misused his position to attempt to obtain a sexual benefit for himself. Now, he's denied the allegations. In her January complaint to the commission, Catherine Padilla said Stewart promised that the speed bumps that she wanted would be approved if she had sex with him. And by the way, the town approved the speed bumps in 2015.
Oh, all right, we're going to leave it there, everybody.
And that's all the news there is. Not true. There's much more coming up.
All right, we'll get to your calls coming up. And, I'll play this David Hogg audio. I know there are people already texting and saying, what is this? Yeah, and it's, what a mess. All right, Brian, thanks for joining us. All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News up to the minute traffic. Here's Sabrina Katz.
For my Marco Island commuters, seeing a busy San Marco heading westbound towards Barfield. Definitely give yourself some extra time, about a 2-mile delay. Also in Naples, seeing some minor delays on Radio Road between Livingston and Airport Pooling. As far as I-75 goes, up to speed to and from Lee and Collier County. And in Cape Coral, an area to watch out for is going to be at the intersection of Del Prado and Hancock Bridge Parkway. Consider that in your morning commute. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
After our cool start with most in the 50s, our lowest temperatures since the spring, we're going to rebound for this afternoon on a beautiful day of weather. Get out and enjoy it. Sunshine for hours, sunny and dry with temperatures in the lower 80s. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Rush Limbaugh. Career day went a little sideways for students at the Rocky Top Middle School in Thornton, Colorado. One of the featured speakers was Jessica Lahore, L''WHOR, a dancer and performance artist. Actually, Jessica Lahore is a drag queen. Lahore explained to the middle school students that he is a man but portrays a woman in performances. Lahore asked that they call him Ms. Jessica, because using Lahore around the children he wanted to influence would be inappropriate, you see. Parents were not informed that their children would be getting career advice from a drag queen. When word got out, many of the parents were outraged, but not all. So the principal sent out a letter apologizing for not letting parents know in advance, but the principal defended inviting Lahore because doing so was inclusive and promoted diversity. After all, to liberals, there's nothing more important for kids to learn in middle school than diversity and politically correct gender bender brainwashing, being instructed in all of it by a drag queen.
Attention, everyone. You've probably seen or heard about the movie Limitless, where a powerful pill unleashes the full potential of the brain. It's fascinating that a pill could have such a dramatic impact on a person's life, fantasy or reality. Hi, I'm David Poorman, founder of Limitless, the closest thing to a legal smart pill available today. I was a struggling college student that nearly dropped out because I couldn't study or focus. Since then, these same issues have caused me to miss out on several promotions at work. I was determined to help myself, and after years of research, we finally did it. Just take Limitless within 30 minutes. You'll take your mind to a whole new level of focus and attention never thought possible. Call now and find out how to get a free bottle and experience this pill firsthand. My only regret is that we didn't create Limitless sooner.
To find out how to get your free bottle of Limitless, call 800-630-7730. That's 800-630-7730. Free bottle for a limited time. Call now. 800-630-7730. 800-630-7730.
Well, we did it, Southwest Florida. We filled an entire cargo ship with over 200 old beat-up clunkers. At least 40 of you had to be towed in. Aaron Walker here from Naples Nissan. The ship has already set sail. But I've had an overwhelming amount of customer requests to keep the $8,000 offer on the table. No idea what I'm going to do with all this old metal, but I'll give you one more chance to get $8,000 for that old piece of junk in your driveway. Missing bumper, a cracked windshield, no tires. I've seen it all. Do whatever you got to do to get it to me, and I'll give you a minimum of $8,000 to put towards a brand new 2018 Rogue, Murano, Maxima, or Titan. Hey, get rid of that old piece of trash for good. It's not safe. And then get $8,000 to put down on a brand new Nissan backed by a lifetime unlimited mile warranty. What more could you ask for? Bring your clunker to Naples Nissan on Pine Ridge Road, exit 107 off I-75, or visit naplesnissan.com. Offers with approved credit and cannot be combined.
This is Tommy Doyle, Lee County Supervisor of Elections, here to promote the vote. I encourage you to know before you go and vote early starting October 22nd through November 3rd, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily, includes Saturdays and Sunday at 10 convenient locations. For more information, visit lee.vote or call Lee Vote 533-8683. That's 533-8683.
This is 92.5 Fox News. Now, back to Daybreak with Drew Steele.
America doesn't have higher rates of mental illness or any of the other key demographics that tend to typically explain gun violence in other countries.
There you go. All right, David Hogg, a little gun violence talk. America doesn't have a higher rate of mental illness or any of the other key demographics that typically tend to explain gun violence. No. Well, I don't know. The World Health Organization said that the U.S. has the third worst overall mental health problem in the world. So, not sure what he's talking about, well, it's David Hogg on MSNBC. And he also said,
when they say the only thing that can stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun, what they're trying to do is sell you 2 guns.
Let's go to Susie in Fort Myers. Susie wanted to talk about something completely different. Hi, Susie.
Good morning, guys.
Hi.
Hey, in all of the news broadcasts and listening to Hannity and Fox and you guys, nobody has mentioned that I've been listening to see these people coming through to our border carrying their country's flag, fists in the air, yelling and screaming. To me, these are not all of them anyway, but these are not people who should come into our border and or doesn't really want to be in the country for all the good reasons.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at a picture right now as you say that. It's funny you said that, Susie, because I'm looking at a picture of exactly what you're talking about with their country's flags as they're making their way towards the U.S. border, which, by the way, again, as we said before, Mexico offered them asylum and work assignments, everything they want. You want work? You could stay here. Hey, you want asylum? You're afraid to go back to your home country? Just stay here. And they said no because they want to make their way to the U.S. And I think to your point, Susie, a lot of people say this. And listen, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. About assimilating, right? Are these people looking to come to this country and make money here and then send it back home? Or do they want to be part of the fabric of the United States? That's an interesting question to ask.
This is Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News.
The tradition continues as 2 of Texas' favorite sons return together, Lyle Lovett and Robert Earl Keen. This Sunday night at 7, Barbara B. Mann Performing Arts Hall at FSW. Reserve seats on sale now at the box office, bbmannpah.com, or call 481-4849. Lyle Lovett and Robert Earl Keen.
I promise to cut your sales tax.
He's lying. He'll raise our sales tax.
No, Six Benz Harley will pay your sales tax promotion on any pre-owned Harley this week only.
Excuse me, Six Benz Harley doesn't intend on paying or avoiding your sales tax.
Sales tax is the amount of your discount on any pre-owned Harley. Six Benz Harley has access to South Florida's largest Harley inventory with truckloads of new 2019s arriving daily. Bike night this Thursday with beige, cheap beers, and lap band. 100% of all credit applications considered and every pre-owned 2016 Harley discounted by your sales tax at Six Benz Harley now through Sunday.
Tonight on Wink News at 6. From barking like a champ to fierce tail wagging.
Hey, boy. Yeah, hi. That was a good boy.
What would your dog do if confronted by a stranger?
He wanted to get petted, and then he showed me how he can jump nicely on the couch.
Wink goes undercover to reveal how average family pets protect their homes when their owners are away.
Good boy.
See the fascinating results.
Great watchdog.
Tonight on Wink News at 6.
Next live, Kerry Washington.
I always have to, bring my A game when I come here because you're so cute.
Plus, Omari Hardwick, Dean Lewis performs, and Wednesday.
This is the show we've been waiting for.
It's Live's Halloween show.
So many costumes, it will shock you.
With a Facebook Live pre-show.
How's my hair, Ryan?
Smoky.
Live with Kelly and Ryan this morning at 9 on Wink TV.
92.5 WFSX Estero.
It's 7 o'clock on the smart voice of Southwest Florida.
92.5 Fox News.
This Wink News update is presented by Made Pro of Southwest Florida. Professional cleaning with a personal touch.
Now, this is a Wink News update.
This is Corey Lazar with Wink News. 109 passengers are finally back home after they were stranded over the weekend at Southwest Florida International Airport. The Lee County Port Authority says Sun Country Airlines pilot Brian McTeams brought a loaded gun through the security line and arrested him. There was no other pilot available, so the flight was canceled. Passengers were given hotel rooms and meal vouchers, but some say they're still waiting for answers from the airline.
If you're a leader at Sun Country, you got to take ownership of this stuff, and you got to create transparency.
When questioned, the pilot said he forgot the weapon was in his bag. Reports say the pilot did have a permit to carry the weapon in Minnesota, but not in Florida. Hurricane Michael is now linked to 6 more deaths in Florida. Now the state's death toll is 35. 2 more deaths were confirmed in hard-hit Coastal Bay County, raising the total there to 21. 1 was also reported in Jackson County, and 3 more people died in Washington County. Michael slammed Florida's panhandle on October 10th. We'll get ready for some extra traffic at a very busy intersection in Cape Coral. Work on Hancock Bridge Parkway and Del Prado Boulevard starts today, and it's expected to wrap up in February. Crews will shut down lanes on Hancock during the day, and lanes on Del Prado will shut down at night. Crews are making 3 of the left turn lanes longer. I'm Corey Lazar, Wink News Now.
Wink News traffic.
For my Marco Island commuters, seeing a busy San Marco heading westbound towards Barfield. Definitely give yourself some extra time, about a 2-mile delay. Also in Naples, seeing some minor delays on Radio Road between Livingston and Airport Pooling. As far as I-75 goes, up to speed to and from Lee and Collier County. And in Cape Coral, an area to watch out for is going to be at the intersection of Del Prado and Hancock Bridge Parkway. Consider that in your morning commute. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz, Wink News Now.
Wink Weather Authority.
After our coolest start in months across the area, literally our lowest since the spring, we're going to rebound this afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, another beautiful fall day with highs for many in the 80s. As we look ahead to your Tuesday and Halloween, plenty of sunshine, few passing clouds. For all the trick-or-treaters this year, for your Wednesday evening, looks good with only a few passing clouds. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Made Pro presents.
Hi, Helen. Thought I'd stop by to return these. Wow, I see you're getting the place all decked out for Halloween.
What?
All the cobwebs. Nice touch.
Huh? Oh.
And all the hay. Where's the scarecrow?
Hey, that's the carpet.
Oh, let me guess. If I open this closet, something scary's gonna pop out, right?
Don't open that door.
Hi, I'm Michelle Spitzer, proud owner of Made Pro of Southwest Florida. Get clean today. Visit madepro.com.
Do your feet hurt? The Good Feet store specializes in foot pain relief, and there's only one place to get good feet, on Pine Ridge Road in Naples. Call 552-FEET or stop in for a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Imagine buying a car and the auto dealer tells you that you're getting a red car with 4 doors and beige interior because that's all they have to offer. Crazy, right? Well, that's what some places are telling men on how to resolve their ED. No choices and no options. They're one-trick ponies. The Fort Myers Men's Clinic Group has successfully treated 20,000 ED patients. That's right, 20,000. It's what they do all day, every day, so they know a thing or two about resolving ED. Maybe the red car with beige interior is the way you want to go, but not before a Florida licensed physician discusses all the options that may be best for you. That's why they offer so many different FDA-approved options to resolve your ED, not just one. No matter your age or medical condition, they have multiple clinical pathways to help determine what's best for you. If you're struggling with ED, don't trust the one-trick ponies. Trust the Fort Myers Men's Clinic. After all, 20,000 men can't be wrong. Call today for an appointment at 239-317-7777. That's 317-7777 or FortMyersMen'sClinic.com.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
The smart voice of Southwest Florida. It's Daybreak.
Folks from unknown origins with unknown intentions other than to come into this country illegally is just plain reckless. The role of the federal government is in part to provide for the common defense, and that means securing the sovereignty and integrity of our territorial borders.
Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew, Steve.
Hey, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592. There's the phone number, the text line on the heels of just a horrific shooting there at the Tree of Life Synagogue on Saturday. A shooter opening fire. All Jews must die. Blaming innocent synagogue worshipers for, quote, committing genocide to his people. Somebody who was clearly crazy, disturbed, mental issues, anybody who would do this. And the 11 lives that were lost, a 97-year-old Holocaust survivor, one of the 11, 2 brothers as well. 4 police officers wounded in the shooting, 2 other worshipers as well. The talk right now is the DOJ looking at the death penalty for this. Certainly, there are charges right now that are pending, that people are discussing, and they may seek the death penalty against the shooter. But again, on the heels of this, there are a lot of questions that have to be answered. And really, it's about you answering these questions and maybe even the discussions that you're having with others at this point. And it is about the political divide, the discourse that is happening right now, and what it stems from, and where it begins and where it ends. Because for all the people that would say it began with this president of the United States, and the minute he decided that he was going to run for president, and the first day that he took office in 2017, that the whole world changed and this was the moment in time, you can't honestly, truthfully believe that. The media spent all weekend blaming Donald Trump for everything that is happening in the discourse and the divide that's happening in this country, to the degree, to the level where it almost makes you sick. I mean, maybe some people it doesn't make them sick to hear this. I hear an MSNBC contributor talking about Donald Trump. What does he say?
Corruption. Our lives, as much as I may have criticisms of how law enforcement operates in this country, they are still our line of defense against maniacs and terrorists out there. But I have to say, Nicole, and this has always been a problem with this president, he has always shown a sympathy or a dismissiveness towards terrorism.
You've got to be kidding me. And this is on MSNBC with Nicole Wallace. There's an opportunity right there to stop that individual from saying that, to stop them in their tracks and to say, no, you don't come on these airwaves and say that, because you know that is absolutely positively wrong. But they don't do that. As a matter of fact, that's who they invite on the program. So I ask you again, 239-479-5592. Help me out with this. Who's doing this? Who's created this atmosphere of hate and division? Are you seriously, honestly going to sit here and tell us all that the reason why this is happening is because Donald Trump? You do understand that if the president completely stopped, or better yet, if the president's just like, I'm done, good, all right, I will see you. I'm just, it's been great, it's been fun. I'm out of here. I'm going to take and enjoy my time with my family now, and that's the end of that. You do realize that if the president stopped, that the left would still go on after him. They would still go on attacking you and I. And it's not going to end because it didn't begin or end with him. And you all know it. And the level that this has, that it's taken, that we are at right now, and this division and discourse is disgusting. The news that we had earlier today. And I wish I see that there's Fox National is talking about this right now. And I wish, actually, Jake, see if you can find the actual audio. I don't know if you can or not, that moment. But I can tell you, I do have audio from Marsha Blackburn in Tennessee, the GOP senatorial candidate, Representative Blackburn, who is having a moment of silence for the victims of the massacre on Saturday at the Pittsburgh synagogue, and what happens during a moment of silence, she's interrupted by a leftist screaming that Marsha Blackburn is a white supremacist, interrupting, screaming, yelling Black Lives Matter. I mean, it was horrific. And again, I'm asking, which side is doing this? Who's causing all of these issues? You know, I could go on. How many times in the past have we talked about this? This isn't about Donald Trump, although there are those on the left and in the media that want to continue to make it sound like it is. I mean, you don't have to go too far back. You don't have to go too far back to remember it was these sounds. I know Jake is holding his ears right now. The sounds of the protesters during the Kavanaugh hearings. We had to go through that. The Kavanaugh hearings that made Lindsey Graham a hero to conservatives. Take a second and let that soak in. Okay. That moment in time where Lindsey Graham, otherwise known as Lindsey Grahamnesty, right? How many times did you say that? How many times have you used that language? All of a sudden becoming a hero to conservatives for going after those that were attacking Judge Kavanaugh, now Justice Kavanaugh at that time. Who started that? Who did that? You know, you could go to, for example, that moment that, well, hey, how about former President Barack Obama? Do you remember the time when he said...
But we don't know. It's also possible that this was workplace related.
Remember the workplace-related violence incident? When we had a terrorist attack in the U.S. San Bernardino? It was a workplace violence incident. We don't know. That's what it is. And as a matter of fact, the dead and wounded were not going to get military honors. Anybody remember that? And you're upset with Donald Trump? Listen, there are plenty of people that have helped to create the climate that we're in right now. Andrew Cuomo, governor of the state of New York, saying, what did he say about conservatives? Oh, they're not welcome in the state of New York, right? Because of their stance on Second Amendment rights.
Is that who they are? Because if that's who they are, and if they are the extreme conservatives, they have no place in the state of New York.
Yeah, they have no place in the state of New York. All right. And when people hear this and they get upset, and then Donald Trump comes along, candidate Trump and president of the United States, who wants to push back against all of this, all of a sudden it's his fault. He's the one that did this. By the way, speaking of President Obama, did you hear this? This was just over the weekend. Talk about hateful rhetoric. When the discussion of the migrant caravan making its way to our southern border, the issues of immigration, and former President Obama says,
I'd like to think there are compassionate conservatives out there who think there's nothing compassionate about ripping immigrant children from the arms of their mothers at the border and putting them in pens.
Ripping kids out of their mother's arms and putting them in pens. It's his policies that did that. Your policies were the ones that did exactly that. And then you turn around and say the conservatives, you'd like to think that there are some conservatives that are compassionate and don't want. But that's not hateful rhetoric. No. We should sit back and take that. As conservatives, we should just sit back and accept that those are the facts and everything is fine, nothing to see here, and shut up and sit down and don't say a word. Because we'll tell you where your place in this world is. You shut up and sit down. Am I wrong? I'm on an island. 239-479-5592. I'm just telling you that the hateful rhetoric in this country did not start and end with Donald Trump. Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, up to the minute traffic. Here's Sabrina Katz.
Double trouble on Pondella Road this morning. A crash at June Parkway in Pondella, as well as on Pondella and Cleveland Avenue, causing delays heading eastbound, I would say go ahead and stick to Pine Island if you can. And also near Alva, a crash at Broadway Street and Palm Beach Boulevard, causing some very minor delays on Palm Beach towards the intersection. And at 6 Mile Cypress and Metro Parkway, seeing a disabled vehicle here that you might have to tap on your brakes for, but nothing that should keep you up too much. As far as I-75 goes, up to speed right now if you're heading to and from Lee and Collier County, as well as 41 looking like a great option. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
After our cool start with most in the 50s, our lowest temperatures since the spring, we're going to rebound for this afternoon on a beautiful day of weather. Get out and enjoy it. Sunshine for hours, sunny and dry with temperatures in the lower 80s. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
At the Naples Trust Company, our clients ask, when is the right time to talk to their adult children about wealth transfer? No matter how much financial experience your children may have, inheriting your wealth may be a dramatically different and complex responsibility. Consider, how can an irrevocable trust protect your heirs? How can elections at death create tax differences that impact the ultimate payout? And when one parent remarries, how can the design of a trust protect the assets to be inherited? The path to these answers all start with one important conversation, a family meeting. We assist families in structuring a comfortable and effective forum to discuss your estate plan, provide guidance and answer questions during the discussion, all with the goal of a smooth transition of wealth when the time comes. Contact the Naples Trust Company for your copy of Is It Time for the Conversation with Your Children? Visit us at our Goodlett Frank Road office in Magnolia Square or online at NaplesTrustCompany.com. That's NaplesTrustCompany.com.
A division of the Sanibel Captiva Trust Company. All investments involve risk and are not guaranteed.
Wilbur plus Orville. Ham plus cheese. Montana plus rice. And the next great plus, Cornerstone Builders plus Good Deals Appliances. Now together in a spectacular new showroom in Naples. Want to see what your dream kitchen or bath looks like before you even build it? Or shop all the best appliances at all the best prices? Boom, that's the whole idea. Designer kitchens and baths on display in every style. All custom built by true craftsmen. Whether you're starting from the ground up or just refacing old cabinets. Cornerstone brings 30 years experience and artistry to every job. And just how good are Good Deals prices on today's most sought after appliances? 3 words, unbeatable. So get in there, browse the possibilities. The next great plus, you plus your dream kitchen or bath come true. Cornerstone Builders plus Good Deals Appliances. Next to Lowe's and Costco at 6425 Naples Boulevard.
FAST is the nation's largest gig speed network. Beyond FAST is the complete reliability of 4G LTE backup. That means whether you're downloading big files, swiping credit cards, or emailing your sales team or customers, your business can go on even if the power goes out. When you're a business owner, you need speed and reliability. For a limited time, make the switch to Comcast Business and get an amazing deal on fast, reliable internet. Just one more way Comcast Business goes beyond other providers. Get started with 75 megabit internet for $49.95 per month when you add 2 voice mobility lines. Call 1-800-501-6000 today. Comcast Business. Beyond fast.
Offer ends 11/21/18. Restrictions apply. New business customers only. 2-year agreement required. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra subject to change. Connection Pro backup limited to up to 6 hours.
Hey, Lisa, what are you going to have today?
The French toast here is killer good.
I'm on this Whole30 diet.
Oh, ouch.
I know, right? I've got 5 more days of it. So, who are you going to vote for this year? Governor Scott or Senator Nelson?
I'm embarrassed to admit this, but I really haven't paid attention. Help me out here.
Okay, let's look at the issues. Term limits for Washington politicians. You for or against?
Oh, we've got to have term limits. That's a no-brainer.
Well, Scott is for term limits and Nelson is against them. Okay, next issue, taxes.
Ugh, I'm sick of how much the government takes out of my paycheck.
Okay, well, Rick Scott's a tax cutter, but Bill Nelson always votes for higher taxes. How about immigration?
That one makes me mad. Why won't these politicians in Washington just secure the border?
Well, Governor Scott wants secure borders, but Nelson takes the Nancy Pelosi approach. He even sponsored an open borders bill.
That's it. I've heard enough. I'm voting for Rick Scott.
I'm Rick Scott. I'm a candidate for Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Rick Scott for Florida.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
Daybreak with Drew Steele.
We're going to talk about 2020 in a minute. Do you want to run again?
No.
Wait.
No.
That was a pause.
Well, I'd like to be president.
Okay.
There's Hillary Clinton. I'm sorry. I just needed a good laugh this morning, and that's helped. So there's Hillary Clinton talking about 2020. It was during a Q&A with something called Recode, and Kara Swisher is her name over the weekend, and asked the question as to whether or not she wants to run for president again. I want you to listen to this
We're
here.
going to talk about 2020 in a minute. Do you want to run again?
No.
Wait.
No.
That was a pause.
Well, I'd like to be president.
Okay.
First of all, the laugh, right? You just can't get enough of that. That's the first thing, right? And then the second thing is it's almost as if she's saying, listen, can I just be president? I don't have to run, do I? I mean, you know, I just want the job. But then she says something else. This is the scary part, right? So that's the funny part, is that I'm going to make that my ringtone. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make that my wife's ringtone and not tell her. That's what I'm going to do. Should I? Do you dare me? Should I? You know what I'll do? I'm going to make that my wife's ringtone and not tell her, and then record. Like, I'm going to call her one day and then tape, record her hearing her phone ring like that and then picking it up.
Is that Brian? I can hear laughing all the way.
I have no idea. So it might be. All right. So there's the funny part, and then here's the not so funny part. So again, this is Hillary Clinton. I know it's Monday and it's breakfast. I apologize. But she's talking about running again for president in 2020. But here's what she says about 2020. This is the interesting part.
Hopefully, when we have a Democrat in the Oval Office in January of 2021, there's going to be so much work to be done. I mean,
Okay, hold on. Let me stop right there. There's going to be so much work to be done. Work on what? No, seriously, work on what? Is there one Democrat that's breathing that can define what it is that's broken, that needs to be fixed? That's the problem right now in the country. That you foresee. I mean, I didn't know that she could, I could see into the future. And we're going to have to fix a lot of things that are broken, really. All right, so let it go on here. Let's see what she says. Once again, she says,
hopefully, when we have a Democrat in the Oval Office in January of 2021, there's going to be so much work to be done. I mean, we have confused everybody in the world, including ourselves. And we have confused our friends and our enemies. Right. They have no idea what the United States stands for, what we're likely to do, what we think is important.
Does anybody believe that? No, I'm serious. Nobody in the world knows what we stand for? I would venture to guess that there are people that know exactly where we stand and what we believe and what's going on right now.
So the work would be work that I feel very well prepared for, having been in the Senate for 8 years, having been a diplomat in the State Department. And it's just going to be a lot of heavy lifting.
Okay. And heavy lifting of what? I love that. It's almost like hope and change. It's like when Barack Obama, candidate Obama, was talking about hope and change, and nobody bothered to ask what that hope and change, well, those in the media and on the left, nobody ever bothered to ask what that meant. Fundamentally transform the country. Okay, into what? To do what exactly? Hillary Clinton would have been enough. Okay, well, what are you going to do? You can't have John McCain. No, I'm asking you, seriously. What does that mean? What does that look like? So there's Hillary Clinton with the greatest ringtone ever. So I just thought a little bit of Hillary would be fun. Boy, was I wrong. All right, 239-479-5592, the phone number. A couple of other things we're going to touch on. Oh, by the way, coming up at 8 o'clock, I believe we're going to have a little bit of a conversation about some of the things that are happening with the Lee County School Board. And a lot of people have been asking about the half-cent sales tax and whether or not you vote yes or no. And I could tell you there's somebody on the school board that wants to vote no, doesn't like it. I wonder why. So she'll be on with us at 8 o'clock, and we'll talk about that in just a bit. Also, the polling numbers that are coming out, we're going to get to that. These multi-state surveys from CBS and YouGov asking about Ron DeSantis, and Andrew Gillum, your thoughts on that, and also the Senate race. Rick Scott, there's Bill Nelson, where we stand right now, if you're into the numbers. So we'll give you those numbers coming up. And also the fact that there's some more issues with Andrew Gillum. You know, if Andrew Gillum's tough on crime, if Andrew Gillum's the kind of guy when you think would be tough on crime in the state of Florida, why is it that 38 Florida sheriffs are demanding now that he withdraw his pledge to the Dream Defenders? I mean, if this freedom pledge to the organization Dream Defenders isn't that big a deal, well, it's just a pledge. Listen, I pledge to what? People are like, well, why is it that Ron DeSantis is making such a big stink about this? Well, maybe because it is a big stink, because 38 Florida sheriffs demand that Andrew Gillum withdraw his pledge. And we're going to talk about that and those numbers, specifically why that is a big deal. We'll get to that in just a second. So looking forward to that coming up. And also the latest along the border, our southern border. Did you know that Mexico offered to give the caravan making its way to the southern portion of the United States asylum, work assignments, and they said no to stay in Mexico?
This is Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News.
Hey, it's Drew Steele here. Listen, if you've noticed any issues around your home, like unlevel or cracked concrete, indoor or outdoor wall cracks, sinking floors, rotting beams, musty odors in your crawl space, contact your local experts at N Square. They provide foundation, concrete, and crawl space repair services, resulting in effective and permanent solutions to all residential and commercial properties across South Florida. Their team uses the highest quality materials and equipment to get the job done right the first time. With their worry-free financing, free inspection, and estimate, you can expect a remarkable experience when you work with N Square. Simply visit their website today. It's nsquareinc.com. That's nsquareinc.com.
Six Ben's Harley is giving NADA retail value when you trade your bike for a new Harley this week. 100% of all credit applications considered. Six Ben's Harley's retail trade value for your bike ends this Sunday.
Well, we did it, Southwest Florida. We filled an entire cargo ship with over 200 old beat-up clunkers. At least 40 of you had to be towed in. Aaron Walker here from Naples Nissan. The ship has already set sail, but I've had an overwhelming amount of customer requests to keep the $8,000 offer on the table. No idea what I'm going to do with all this old metal, but I'll give you one more chance to get $8,000 for that old piece of junk in your driveway. Missing bumper, a cracked windshield, no tires. I've seen it all. Do whatever you got to do to get it to me, and I'll give you a minimum of $8,000 to put towards a brand new 2018 Rogue, Murano, Maxima, or Titan. Hey, get rid of that old piece of trash for good. It's not safe. And then get $8,000 to put down on a brand new Nissan backed by a lifetime unlimited mile warranty. What more could you ask for? Bring your clunker to Naples Nissan on Pine Ridge Road, exit 107 off I-75, or visit naplesnissan.com. Offers with approved credit and cannot be combined.
Listen to Fox News Radio each weekday at 4:30 for the closing bell, where I'll bring the most up-to-date stock market report. This is Alfie Townsend with Advantage Retirement Group, and listen to Saving the Investor radio show right here on Fox News Saturday at 9 a.m. because your money matters.
This is Tommy Doyle, Lee County Supervisor of Elections, here to promote the vote. I encourage you to know before you go and vote early starting October 22nd through November 3rd, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily, includes Saturdays and Sunday at 10 convenient locations. For more information, visit lee.vote or call Lee Vote 533-8683. That's 533-8683.
The power that crystal meth had over me is baffling. And the only option I was left with was I can die alone in this misery, or I can try to stop.
Visit our website at drugfree.org. A message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free America.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. There's been a vigil in Pittsburgh for the 11 people shot and killed at a synagogue Saturday. Tree of Life Rabbi Jeffrey Meyer says the community will rebuild.
Offering a new light,
offering a Dor Chadash, a new generation, so that collectively people will come and say, wow, that's how you're supposed to live your life.
The man accused of committing the murders is due in federal court this afternoon. Prosecutors say they will seek the death penalty. The Boston Red Sox win the World Series, beating the Dodgers 5-1 in Game 5 in Los Angeles. Boston first baseman Steve Pearce hit 2 home runs. He was named series most valuable player.
We are a bunch of grinders. It is awesome. The way we play day in, day out. We expect that of each other. And this is exactly where we knew we were going to be.
He was on with Fox Sports after the game. It was Boston's 4th championship in 15 seasons. This is Fox News.
This Wink News update is presented by Fort Myers Men's Clinic. Online at fortmyersmensclinic.com.
Now, this is a Wink News update.
This is Corey Lazar with Wink News. 2 shooters are on the run in Cape Coral this morning. 1 person is recovering after being shot outside a Waffle House in the 4600 block of Del Prado Boulevard South, right off Cape Coral Parkway East. Police say this happened when a fight in the parking lot broke out Sunday morning. 1 person was shot in the leg, and police say the suspects drove away in a maroon 4-door sedan. A reminder to lock your car door when you're not in it. Crooks were caught on camera stealing cars out of driveways and Gateway over the weekend. The gated community does have a lot of security, from a guard gate to video surveillance, but one gap in security is causing issues, a huge hole in the fence that surrounds the community, which is about 20 feet wide. Now neighbors like Nathaniel LaBelle are on high alert.
To raise awareness enough to say, hey, lock your doors, lock your things up, make sure your valuables are put away, make sure your front doors are locked, be aware of the big opening gaps in our community, and hopefully we can get those things closed.
FMPD says over the last few weeks, 7 cars have been stolen. That's a break-in more than 1 every other day. Well, there's no doubt the connection between Southwest Florida and the Boston Red Sox are now the World Baseball champions.
Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Red Sox win the World Series. 5-1 the final tonight. And the best team in baseball wins it all in 2018.
The Boston Red Sox won the World Series. They beat the Los Angeles Dodgers 5-1 last night in L.A. Steve Pearce was named World Series MVP. And back in Boston, fans celebrated the team's 4th championship this century. I'm Corey Lazar. Wink News Now.
Wink News traffic.
Double trouble on Pondella Road this morning. A crash at June Parkway in Pondella, as well as on Pondella and Cleveland Avenue, causing delays heading eastbound. I would say go ahead and stick to Pine Island if you can. And also near Alva, a crash at Broadway Street and Palm Beach Boulevard, causing some very minor delays on Palm Beach towards the intersection. And at 6 Mile Cypress and Metro Parkway, seeing a disabled vehicle here that you might have to tap on your brakes for, but nothing that should keep you up too much. As far as I-75 goes, up to speed right now if you're heading to and from Lee and Collier County, as well as 41 looking like a great option. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News Now.
Wink Weather Authority.
After our coolest start in months across the area, literally our lowest since the spring, we're going to rebound this afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, another beautiful fall day with highs for many in the 80s. As we look ahead to your Tuesday and Halloween, plenty of sunshine, few passing clouds for all the trick-or-treaters this year. For your Wednesday evening, looks good with only a few passing clouds. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour. You're going to see the name Betsy Vaughn on your election ballot. Betsy is your candidate for Lee County Public School Board. Vote for her. Betsy is a 38-year educator. Betsy Vaughn dedicated her entire life to teaching our students, to give every child the opportunity to grow, learn, and graduate. Betsy Vaughn understands school safety, bullying, buses, parents, budgets. Oh, Betsy gets it. Does the Lee County School Board get it? Let's face it, the Lee County School Board is disconnected with the very foundation of what its purpose is, and getting nothing done. Teachers are quitting and leaving Lee County. Over 20% of students aren't even graduating, and the school board is almost $500 million in debt. You want to fix this? Whether you vote by mail or go to the polls November 6th, vote Vaughn. Betsy Vaughn, your candidate for Lee County School Board District 6 at large. Let's fix Lee County schools.
I'm Betsy Vaughn, and I approve this message.
Hi, I'm Rick Johnson of Rick Johnson Auto Tire. It's fall and leaves are falling. Wait a minute, only coconuts are falling in Florida, but at Rick Johnson Auto Tire, tire prices are falling. I have slashed all the the tire prices. We have the best prices in Southwest Florida.
Wait a minute. No falling prices.
Yes. $9.95 oil changes with a filter and rotate your tires.
I have no idea how we're doing this.
Come to any of our 11, 12 locations. Woohoo! New location on Colonial Boulevard in Fort Myers.
12? That's a dozen. Rick's so good he even named a street after me. I'm not kidding, it's Rosie's Court.
Come on in for While the Prices Are Falling, only at Rick Johnson Auto Tire.
Fair and honest, tell a friend.
Don't forget, $9.95 oil changes, and the prices have fallen.
$9.95 oil change plus filter up to 5 quarts, 5W30 or 5W20. Includes 25-point inspection and free tire rotation on most cars.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, 239-479-5592. There's the phone number, the text line as well. Coming up in about 15 minutes, Drew's College of Political Knowledge, 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD. And I've got 4 tickets to Wink's Taste of Lee and a $25 certificate to Maverick Grill. So we've got all of that coming up in just a couple of minutes. That's this Saturday, by the way, in case you're wondering. More details coming up on that. All right, so a couple of things that are going on here in the state in case you didn't know. A little good news, a little not so good news when it comes to the GOP and this CBS YouGov poll. If you like polls, if you follow polls, I don't know how you can follow and love these polls when they're up and down all over the place. The last 4 surveys for the state of Florida in the CBS YouGov polls had DeSantis up 3, Gillum up 1, Gillum up 5, Gillum up 1. And that's where we stand right now. But the consensus is that everything is tightening here in the state of Florida. And even with the race for Senate as well, it's the same. And it looks like you've got right now, is it a dead heat? Yes, it's a dead heat. So this poll, the last 5 polls for the same CBS YouGov poll was Scott up 1, Nelson up 1, Scott up 1, Nelson up 4, and now it's a dead heat. But it's something that people are continuing to look at and try to follow, as difficult as that may be. Listen, it's up in the air right now. For a lot of folks, nobody's sure what's going to happen. But we do know a couple of things. We do know that Ron DeSantis is pushing back a little bit, and it's got some in the media a little upset. They don't like that he's pushing back against Andrew Gillum. This was audio from, was it this weekend? Yeah, I guess it was this weekend. As the headline from Tampa, discourse heats up as candidates rally in Pinellas County. And the question went to Ron DeSantis and talking about the discourse and the trouble right now and the political divide. And if Ron DeSantis is contributing to the poor political discourse, I'm not kidding. Ron DeSantis is the cause of the discourse. Does it sound familiar? It almost sounds like Donald Trump a little bit, like being accused of the political discourse issues that we have here in the country. So listen to what was asked here. He was asked,
calling the mayor Andrew by his first name. Would you say it contributes to the poor political discourse?
Okay, so by calling the mayor of the city of Tallahassee Andrew, there's a problem with the discourse. Do you see what you're doing here? You're calling him Andrew. Are you contributing to the political discourse? Is what he's being asked. And I'm sorry about the audio quality, but this is what it is. And he says,
he called me a dog at the debate. Did you watch that? So what? He has his own standard and I have a different standard? Is there a double standard here? Okay, fine. Crooked Mayor Gillum. How about that? He took bribes. He was wrong. How about failed Mayor Gillum? He has the highest crime in Tallahassee, the highest number of murders in history. His former chief of staff is campaigning against his record, running for Tallahassee right now. How about radical Mayor Gillum? Because he signed this Dream Defenders pledge and he will not disavow them. He will not disavow them. He stands with them. He stands by them. They are militantly anti-police and anti-law enforcement. So, look, I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, I'm gonna shoot straight.
Yeah, but But you called him Andrew. See what I'm saying? This is what the media does. Is really, you're calling him Andrew. Do you know that's a poor political discourse? Are you kidding me? Do you even know candidate Andrew Gillum? Do you even know who this guy is? Have you asked any questions? Have you even asked some of the tough questions? And good for Ron DeSantis for hitting back a little bit and not sitting there and taking it from the media. Crooked Mayor Gillum. How about that? He took bribes and he was wrong. The bribes. Anybody talking about that? There's new information, by the way. I don't want to get too crazy, but yeah. So now there's reports that he failed to disclose $4,300 of an in-kind contribution. You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to do that. And that was made by an undercover FBI agent who had been investigating the campaign. Finance laws, campaign finance laws require all candidates report all campaign contributions and expenditures to be listed with the state disclosure portal. Yeah, it didn't happen. Didn't do it. So more news about Andrew Gillum and being kind of, I don't know, shady. It's not like it's going away, everybody. So Ron DeSantis brings that up. Highest crime rate. How about failed Mayor Gillum has the highest crime rate in Tallahassee, the highest numbers of murders in history. The numbers are there. His former chief of staff is campaigning against his record, running for Tallahassee mayor right now. That's just a fact, Jack. How about radical Mayor Gillum? Because he signed the Dream Defenders pledge and he will not disavow them. He stands with them. He stands by them. They are militantly anti-police. Is he wrong about that? Well, I don't know. Why don't you ask the 38 Florida sheriffs who demand that Andrew Gillum withdraw his pledge to the Freedom Pledge to the Dream Defenders because they're anti-cop. You think they don't know that? You think they don't know what signing that pledge is all about? Just in case you don't know a lot about the Dream Defenders, all you have to do is go to their website and you can find a lot about them. Yeah, one of the things that the Dream Defenders are not a fan of is Independence Day, July 4th. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because they think it should be used to utilize and illuminate the immeasurable distances between U.S. citizens and the harm committed in our name around the world. That they believe, what to the prisoner is the 4th of July, the indigenous people who were here before the white settlers. They also talk about ending disaster capitalism, abolishing ICE. Yeah, listen, signing with the Dream Defenders is not something to be proud of. And he's never addressed that. And there are too many people that see this and understand what's going on with Andrew Gillum, besides the corruption, but who he is politically, and just say that enough is enough. And no. It's not, that's not what it's about for the media. For the media, it's about, you're calling him Andrew. Do you think that's right? That's really what they care about. But the polls are suggesting right now that it's close. Nobody knows. And I am not saying that you should trust polls. I am not saying that you should look at polls and feel good about them, that you feel comfortable believing polls. I'm not suggesting that. There are more than a few people, and we've talked about it on this program, who are not a fan of polls.
I'm really offended personally.
There's one. But having said that, it does give you an idea that it's close. That there is no one number or one stat that you could look at and feel comfortable hearing these numbers and say, oh, everything is fine. It's not. If you are right now a conservative, if you are right now a Republican and you're trying to find comfort in polls, you're not going to find it. What you need to do is get out and vote and tell people to get out and vote as well and explain to them why there's a problem with Andrew Gillum. And the problem is all the things that I mentioned. and all the things that Ron DeSantis has talked about. And above all, the policies that he wants to put in place in this state. I'm trying to think of that one. There was something that was brought up in the past, and it had to do with the numbers. I know a lot of people were asking me about this last week, had texts on this, and I'm trying to remember the actual numbers that were out there when it comes to the things that he wants to spend money on and what kind of taxes would have to be collected in this state in order to pay for all the things that Andrew Gillum wants to do. And they are, let's just say, huge. So again, all right, we've talked about that enough right here. Get out and vote if you haven't already, and convince people to get out there and just vote Republican right down the line. Just do it. Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. All right. Let's do this right now, Jake. Let's do Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD right now. Let's have some fun and get your 4 tickets to Wink Taste of Lee happening this weekend. And a $25 certificate to Maverick Grill as well. So you'll get both of those right now by being caller number 5 at 479-5592. Caller number 5 will play Drew's College coming up next. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Up to the minute traffic. Here's Sabrina Kemp.
In North Fort Myers, still seeing double trouble on Pondella Road. There's a crash at Cleveland Avenue causing delays heading eastbound on Pondella towards the intersection, as well as you might experience some minor delays at June Parkway and Pondella Road from a crash that happened earlier. In Cape Coral, seeing minor delays as well on Del Prado heading south of Hancock Bridge Parkway. And if you're headed over the bridges right now from the Cape into Fort Myers, it's just a 2-minute commute on the Cape Coral Bridge. The Midpoint Bridge is a bit congested. We are seeing delays on State Road 82 from a crash at Griffin and 82 if you're coming out of Gateway. That's your Up to the Minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
After our cool start with most in the 50s, our lowest temperatures since the spring, we're going to rebound for this afternoon on a beautiful day of weather. Get out and enjoy it. Sunshine for hours, sunny and dry with temperatures in the lower 80s. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
FAST is the nation's largest gig speed network. Beyond FAST is the complete reliability of 4G LTE backup. That means whether you're downloading big files, swiping credit cards, or emailing your sales team or customers, your business can go on even if the power goes out. When you're a business owner, you need speed and reliability. For a limited time, make the switch to Comcast Business and get an amazing deal on fast, reliable internet. Just one more way Comcast Business goes beyond other providers. Get started with 75 megabit internet for $49.95 per month when you add 2 voice mobility lines. Call 1-800-501-6000 today. Comcast Business. Beyond fast.
Offer ends 11/21/18. Restrictions apply. New business customers only. 2-year agreement required. Early termination fee applies. Equipment taxes and fees extra subject to change. Connection Pro backup limited to up to 6 hours.
Amendment 3 puts voters in charge of gambling in Florida. That's how it works in many places. Red states like Texas, blue states like California, big states like New York, and small ones like Rhode Island. Even gambling states like New Jersey put voters in charge. That's how it used to work in Florida, too. For decades, gambling issues were decided by voters. Then politicians took that power for themselves. Amendment 3 returns it to the people. In the last decade, casino lobbyists gave nearly $50 million to Florida politicians. So restoring voter control of gambling is a common sense safeguard that reduces corruption and empowers you. Voters across America already have this power. You should too. So vote for you by voting yes on Amendment 3. Paid political advertisement paid for by voters in charge. P.O. Box 1991, Orlando, Florida 32802.
Hello, I'm Dr. D'Amico. Are you considering dental implants? Have you had a consultation and been shocked by the price? For less than $300 per month, I can place implants on top or bottom and make permanent screw-down teeth that never come out. Give me a call and I'll perform an exam and a 3-dimensional x-ray for free. Call 234-5284. That's 234-5284. Would you like to quit using denture paste, powders, and strips that never seem to work? Do you want the confidence to speak, laugh, and even sing again? Then call me for a free consultation, and for less than $300 per month, you will no longer have to put up with partials and dentures, since implants give you the most natural feel and comfort, just like natural teeth. Do you already have a treatment plan from another office? Don't have your implants placed without a second opinion. Call 234-5284. 234-5284.
The patient and any other person responsible for payment has a right to refuse to pay, cancel payment, or be reimbursed for any other service, examination, or treatment that is performed as a result of and within 72 hours of responding to the advertisement for the free, discounted fee, or reduced fee service, examination, or treatment. License number DM 15639.
Attention, class. It's time for Drew's College of Political Knowledge.
It's Drew's College.
All right, we got Mike's. Oh, no, Matt. Matt is in Fort Myers. Sorry about that. Hey, Matt.
Good morning, Drew. How are you today?
I'm fine, sir. Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We will see if you get a PhD and your associate's degree question, sir, starts right now. Matt, if the president can no longer serve, who becomes president?
The vice president.
That is correct, sir. All right, you got an associate's degree. Let's see if you get a bachelor's degree on this question. Who was Jimmy Carter's vice president?
Walter Mondale.
That is correct, sir. All right, you got a bachelor's. We'll see if you get a master's on this one. What are the 2 parts to the United States Congress? 2 parts of Congress are?
The Senate and the House.
That is correct. All right, you got a master's. We'll see if you get a PhD on this question. The House of Representatives has how many voting members?
I'm going to say 104.
No, it's actually 435.
Yeah.
That's all right. I'm sorry it was so painful for you. But you did get a master's degree today, and you got 4 tickets to the Wink Taste of Lee this weekend and $25 certificate to Maverick Grill. You got them both, so congratulations. Stay there, okay?
Awesome. Thank you, Drew.
All right, we are. It is. You are. What the? Okay. Yes, you got a master's degree today on Drew's College. Very, very nice work.
It's Drew's College.
All right, 239-479-5592. John in Cape Coral texted, sorry, Drew, I don't believe in polls since the 2016 presidential election. DeSantis is going to win by a wide margin. I don't know. Is anybody confident of that? How many people believe in that? Oh, by the way, Bill in Cape Coral, who was also commenting on Hillary Clinton. We were talking about Hillary Clinton earlier and how she was saying that. Well, that was part of what she was talking about. How maybe she will run in 2020, but if she does run in 2020, what did she say?
Hopefully, when we have a Democrat in the Oval Office in January of 2021, there's going to be so much work to be done. I mean, we have confused everybody in the world, including ourselves. And we have confused our friends and our enemies. Right. They have no idea what the United States stands for, what we're likely to do, what we think is important. So the work would be work that I feel very well prepared for, having been in the Senate for 8 years, having been a diplomat in the State Department. And it's just going to be a lot of heavy lifting.
It's going to be a lot of heavy lifting. And who was it? It was Bill in Cape Coral said, of course, it's going to be a lot of heavy lifting. It's heavy lifting pallets of money. They're very heavy. Very good. All right. 239-479-5592. Love your texts. Love your calls as well. So there's a little bit of Hillary Clinton. And I know I got to sneak that on my wife's phone and make that her ringtone without her knowing it. Kanye West. Did you know that Kanye's in the news? The talk of a Blexit. Do you know what a Blexit is? This is apparel that Kanye West has designed. It's called Blexit. And it's apparel urging black people to leave the Democrat Party. With black unemployment at its lowest level on record, since the beginning nearly 50 years ago, and black support for the president jumping to 36% versus 19 last year. Think about that. Kanye West has designed T-shirts urging blacks to leave the Democrat Party in a Blexit. How about that? So he's got some shirts that were handed out that he designed, and there's a lot of discussion about what is happening with the black community. It was a Candace Owens who was talking about this in an op-ed that she was noting for decades. The black community has been in an emotionally abusive relationship with the Democrat Party. Our fidelity to leftist politicians, coupled with our false belief that a larger government might facilitate solutions, has led to the overall collapse of our families, neighborhoods, and incidentally, our futures. 36% now in the black community supporting this president. You realize that the left can't have this. You realize the Democrats can't stand hearing this. And you realize that when policies are put in place that help every American, everybody, that it's hard to argue. It's hard to argue that point. All right, Mike, you're in the Utah desert. You need to get out of there. Where are you exactly, Mike?
I'm about 100 miles north of St. George right now. I'm about 200 miles south of your old stomping grounds in Salt Lake.
So you're just passing Hurricane.
I'm probably right around. I'm somewhere, like I said, about 100 miles north of, right around near Beaver.
Yeah.
Beaver, Utah.
So what's on your mind, Mike?
I'm just trying to figure out. I told you before over here that I used to live in Florida.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how the heck Gilliam is so close to DeSantis in this race right now.
Yeah.
He's got more baggage than Samsonite. Basically, he's getting ready to turn Florida's economy completely on its head. And never mind the fact that if he's convicted on all these ethics charges and stuff with the bribes and all that, he could be impeached.
Yeah. No, you're right, Mike. And it's
I don't get it.
Well, here's what it is. And listen, we got to run, Mike. Thanks for the call. I always appreciate it. And it's this. It's a purple state, everybody. And listen, if you're a Democrat, if you're a liberal, you look past all of that. You don't care. You just want to do anything and everything you can to win. You want to do anything and everything you can to stop Donald Trump. This is your MO. This is what you want to do. You don't care about the ethics violations. You don't care about any of the crime that could possibly be committed when it comes to this FBI investigation. You don't care about the policies he wants to put in place. You just want to win.
This is Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News.
If you're over 50 and experiencing blurry vision, having trouble reading fine print, or struggling with glare and halos, especially when driving at night, you could have cataracts. Want to know for sure? Dr. Jonathan Franz of Franz Eye Care is a trusted expert in the diagnosis and removal of cataracts. In fact, he's one of the top 5 laser cataract surgeons in the country and has helped thousands of men and women just like you regain clear vision using the latest FDA-approved laser technology. So much so, he's been voted Best Cataract Surgeon of Fort Myers by News Press readers multiple years in a row. A comprehensive cataract evaluation at Franz Eye Care will tell you everything you need to know. Dr. Franz loves putting his patients at ease when they're feeling anxious about their cataract diagnosis and aren't sure what comes next. Call Franz Eye Care at 239-418-0999 to schedule your cataract evaluation today. Discover more at bettervision.net or call 239-418-0999. Franz Eye Care. Better vision, better life.
Well, we did it, Southwest Florida. We filled an entire cargo ship with over 200 old beat-up clunkers. At least 40 of you had to be towed in. Aaron Walker here from Naples Nissan. The ship has already set sail, but I've had an overwhelming amount of customer requests to keep the $8,000 offer on the table. No idea what I'm going to do with all this old metal, but I'll give you one more chance to get $8,000 for that old piece of junk in your driveway. Missing bumper, a cracked windshield, no tires. I've seen it all. Do whatever you got to do to get it to me, and I'll give you a minimum of $8,000 to put towards a brand new 2018 Rogue, Murano, Maxima, or Titan. Hey, get rid of that old piece of trash for good. It's not safe. And then get $8,000 to put down on a brand new Nissan backed by a lifetime unlimited mile warranty. What more could you ask for? Bring your clunker to Naples Nissan on Pine Ridge Road, exit 107 off I-75, or visit naplesnissan.com. Offers with approved credit and cannot be combined.
92.5 WFSX Estero.
It's 8 o'clock.
On the smart voice of Southwest Florida.
92.5 Fox News.
Now, this is a Wink News update.
This is Corey Lazar with Wink News. In the aftermath of the shooting over the weekend at a synagogue in Pittsburgh, Governor Rick Scott says there needs to be security improvements. He announced Florida Highway Patrol will be increasing patrols at religious institutions across the state. And tonight, a vigil will be held in Fort Myers for those who lost their lives Saturday. Rabbi Mark Sack is with Temple Judea.
And we were all pretty horrified by the scenes from Pittsburgh. We refuse to give in to those acts of hatred. You respond to these acts of violence by insisting that life must go on and that we're all going to do it together.
The vigil in Fort Myers will be held at Temple Bethel in Fort Myers at 6 p.m. The temple is asking those of all faiths to join in. There are some brand new security measures at Krista McAuliffe Charter Elementary School in Cape Coral. An area that used to be open for anyone to walk through is now shut and locked during the school day. Visitors now cannot just walk through the breezeway. They have to go into the school's front office. And they now must show proper ID. Principal Kevin Brown says the school worked with the police department to make several security improvements this year, including a new surveillance system. Within the next month, you can also expect a new guard station at the high school entrance in Cape Coral. The trial against an accused Lake Boys gang member will continue today. Prosecutors are trying to convince jurors that Tommy Williams is part of the gang. The defense tried to prove that the suspected Lake Boys were not involved in typical gang activities. I'm Corey Lazar, Wink News Now.
Wink News traffic.
In North Fort Myers, still seeing double trouble on Pondella Road. There's a crash at Cleveland Avenue causing delays heading eastbound on Pondella towards the intersection, as well as you might experience some minor delays at June Parkway and Pondella Road from a crash that happened earlier. In Cape Coral, seeing minor delays as well on Del Prado heading south of Hancock Bridge Parkway. And if you're headed over the bridges right now from the Cape into Fort Myers, it's just a 2-minute commute on the Cape Coral Bridge. The Midpoint Bridge is a bit congested. We are seeing delays on State Road 82 from a crash at Griffin and 82 if you're coming out of Gateway. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News Now.
Wink Weather Authority.
After our coolest start in months across the area, literally our lowest since the spring, we're going to rebound this afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, another beautiful fall day with highs for many in the 80s. As we look ahead to your Tuesday and Halloween, plenty of sunshine, few passing clouds. For all the trick-or-treaters this year, for your Wednesday evening, looks good with only a few passing clouds. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Everyone deserves to feel good inside, and the experts at AC by Florida Comfort Systems know how to make you feel good inside your home with indoor comfort systems that are inside your budget. Get up to a $1,600 rebate or up to 72 months interest-free financing on a qualifying new Lennox system that will keep your comfort up and your utility bills down. Call AC by Florida Comfort Systems at 239-774-5501 or visit on the web at acbyfcs.com. License number CAC 057065.
Hi, I'm Rick Johnson of Rick Johnson Auto Tire. It's fall and leaves are falling. Wait a minute, only coconuts are falling in Florida, but at Rick Johnson Auto Tire prices are falling. I have slashed all the tire prices. We have the best prices in Southwest Florida.
Wait a minute. No falling prices.
Yes. $9.95 oil changes with a filter and rotate your tires.
I have no idea how we're doing this.
Come to any of our 12 locations. Woohoo! New location on Colonial Boulevard in Fort Myers.
12? That's a dozen. Rick's so good he even named a street after me. I'm not kidding, it's Rosie's Court.
Come on in for while the prices are falling. Only at Rick Johnson Auto Tire.
Fair and honest, tell a friend.
Don't forget, $9.95 oil changes and the prices have fallen.
$9.95 oil change plus filter up to 5 quarts, 5W30 or 5W20. Includes 25-point inspection and free tire rotation on most cars.
This is Don Armstrong, your conservative candidate for Lee County School Board. Our school district is failing our children and wasting our tax dollars. It's time to get back to the basics. It's time to budget your money and not raise your taxes. It's time for term limits for school board members. I'm Don Armstrong, and it's time for a change at the Lee County School District. Vote strong. Vote Don Armstrong, Lee County School Board, District 4.
Paid for by the Lee County Republican Executive Committee, 7050 Winkler Road, Suite 103, Fort Myers.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
The smart voice of Southwest Florida. It's Daybreak.
Folks from unknown origins with unknown intentions other than to come into this country illegally is just plain reckless. The role of the federal government is in part to provide for the common defense, and that means securing the sovereignty and integrity of our territorial borders.
Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. Glad you're joining us today. 239-479-5592. There's the phone number and text line. We're going to get to your calls and texts coming up in just a minute. We're going to talk about the political division in this country and discourse and really where this is coming from. And, who do you blame? Is there any blame that should be had here, even on the heels of everything that happened this weekend, the horrific shooting in Pittsburgh and at the synagogue, and how there is a media that wants to go after the president, saying that he's turning the heat up on the rhetoric, and he has some blame here at his feet, and it's just, it certainly is out of control right now, the political division in the country, and we're going to get to that and get to your calls coming up in just a second. But first, I did want to talk about this because, as Jake remembers, it was last week. And, we had this brought up to our attention. We had a caller call in and say how she was concerned because there was a meeting after the school board meeting afterwards where they kind of go over the pluses and minuses of the meeting itself. And Melisa Giovannelli was someone who was there. She is on the school board. And I guess her husband is an officer. And he had his uniform on, and he was wearing his gun. He was told he was off duty. He was told to leave by Kathleen Morgan, and I for what reason, I don't know. I guess we'll find out in just a second. But asked to leave, and then we got a call from Steve Toiberg, who wanted to educate us and tell us that, and went into something about the 20th District Court and said that I guess you can't have guns there at a school board meeting, and said basically we needed to be educated on this, until we come to find out that that's not really the case at all, and some other things that we have questions about. And Melisa Giovannelli is joining us right now. She's a Lee County School Board Member, District 2. Melisa, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great.
So can you, a couple of things I wanted to ask. One thing is going to be about the tax, about the half-cent tax, and I want to get your thoughts on it. But before I get to that, what happened with this story? It was your husband. What exactly went on here?
Well, actually, we were actually in the Deltas and Plus meeting after the board meeting. And my husband's been attending meetings, school meetings for 2 years since I was elected. And Kathleen made it a delta that she was scared and that my husband was there with a gun.
So this was, so let me get this just straight so I'm clear on this. So after the school board meeting, we're correct about this, right? After the school board meeting, you have what's called a, it's basically the pros and cons of everything that happened during the school board meeting, the pluses and minuses. And before this happened, or during this, she mentioned that one of the problems with the meeting was some. Go ahead.
Considered it a delta that he was there with his gun.
Okay.
Considered that a delta. Prior to that, I had made a statement at board member comments regarding the tax, and Ms. Patrica brought up the fact as a delta that I was out of line and out of protocol, and I guess I'm supposed to get permission to speak, but with board member comments, and they felt that my comment should have been at the workshop earlier that day. However, that workshop went over and beyond the time, and there was no one asked to have good of the order or if anybody had anything good of the order or any board member comments. That wasn't an option at that time. So I say my comment for the actual board meeting, which it's board member comment. I think I'm entitled to have my comment, and I would love to read what I repeat what I said, if you don't mind, and you let me know when, I'd love to read exactly what I said in the board member comment so people understand what I said and that is not misconstrued in any way.
Yeah. Okay. So is it long? How long is it? Because we don't have.
No.
Okay.
It's actually probably.
All right. So go ahead. So go ahead and read. This is what you said at the meeting. Okay. So what did you say exactly?
Exactly. Okay, I said I want to be clear on my position regarding the sales tax. My choice has been not whether there is a need, but rather has our administration shown a willingness to be transparent and good stewards of our tax dollars. The question has been, do I support giving the money without the confidence that it will be spent properly, or resist support in order to foster change? I have a fiduciary responsibility to spend our assets wisely. Should the tax fail, and if we borrow the money, an oversight will need to be in place, just like it would have to be if the half-cent passes. The district needs to gain the confidence of our taxpayers. The sooner we do that, the sooner the kids will benefit. Reinforcing the current behavior as related to how the recent audit findings has been handled, in my opinion, created an entitlement of business as usual with no heightened accountability. Our kids needs the new schools, security, and healthy buildings. That does not, however, reconcile a disregard of stewardship of our assets. As a school board administration, we didn't get in this position overnight, and we can't get out of it by bullying the needed enhancements based on emotion. As we require our students to earn their education, I encourage our administration to earn back our community's trust, which can start with straightforward communication. That's it. That's all.
So what you were saying was that, listen, where the district is has an issue upon them right now when it comes to the budget, but the fact of the matter is that the district has not proven that they are good stewards of tax dollars, and this is not the way to go right now. Pretty much is what you've laid out.
Yeah.
And so in saying this now, is the concern that this was then what happened with your husband? And being told to leave the meeting afterwards, do you feel there was a reason outside of because clearly the law doesn't have a problem with him being there as a uniformed officer off duty and having his gun? It's okay. We come to find out he can be there, even though I was told by Steve Torber that I was being schooled on what was right, but he was ultimately not. So
our policy is not in line with the law. That's really the gist of it. Kathleen Morgan did apologize to me at a BUPAC meeting Thursday morning, realizing that our policy isn't in line with the law. I mean, it's just a matter of mutual respect. I should have been given mutual respect, and the school board attorney could have spoken to my husband, and we would have been with policy until policy is changed. We are policymakers on the school board, and I will see to the fact that policy needs to be changed, and it needs to be in line with the law. Period. We don't need policies that are not going that are not in line with our law. That's just honestly silly.
Yeah. So ultimately, Are you concerned that maybe this was something that was retaliatory against you? Your husband leaving the room, they were not pleased with your statement. Is that safe to say?
I'm going to have to say that at this time because my husband's been coming to the school board meetings for 2 years, most of the time in uniform because he comes straight from work and attends the meeting in uniform and always is carrying. So, and Mr. Tuber knows that, actually came down and spoke to my husband about how safe he feels with my husband in the room with a gun. Because he's very pro-gun. And fights for our gun rights in the Second Amendment. So I was really surprised that he would go on air and say something very different.
Yeah.
In fact, he stuck up for my husband at the time in the Deltas and Pluses at the meeting. So I'm very shocked, actually.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say it had to be retaliatory.
So, Melissa, ultimately, do you see the frustration of so many? This is why I've said, in my personal opinion, I say no to the half-cent sales tax. You're somebody who is saying no to the half-cent sales tax. You've laid out why. But do you see the frustration that people have with this school board? Unfortunately, it's been this way for years, and the frustration that we just believe that the board has not been transparent with the audits has been when it comes to good stewards of our tax dollars, that we just don't feel comfortable right now. Can you appreciate that people feel this way?
Absolutely. That's back to mutual respect. We need to respect our community. We need to engage them. We need to educate them. We need to communicate loud and clear, not give any other reason than owning our mistakes, because I think people will respect that if we owned our mistakes and moved forward. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And that's just really where we need to be at. We don't need to make up something different and lead people to believe something different. I believe that the communities would have much more respect for this board if we did just that and just owned it. And I've said that to the superintendent.
Yeah.
We own our mistakes and move forward. That's how you can. If you don't recognize your mistake, if you can't understand and learn from the mistake, how can you move forward? How can you?
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Well, listen, I have to tell you that I appreciate that you're spending a few minutes with us and taking this position. And it's tough. It's a tough position to take. I think it's the right decision that you are taking on this. And I think that it's something that needed to be heard. And I appreciate you calling in this morning. Thanks so much, and all the best. And we'll see how it goes.
Great. Well, thank you. You have a great morning.
All right. You too. That's Melisa Giovannelli, Lee County School Board District 2. Listen, at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. And I think she articulated that so well is that, look, if this is something that is needed, if this half-cent sales tax is needed, be honest as to why it's needed. If there was some fault in the past and some issues with being good stewards of the money that we give to the district, and there have been some problems, just admit it. Just spell it out, and people would respect that. But again, it's something that we've talked about, and so many people have talked to me, and they're texting me right now, and they're texting me 239-479-5592, and they've said this over and over again, that it just feels like every time the board, something happens with the board and something is wrong with the Lee County School Board, that it's always somebody else's fault. Somebody else gets the blame. It's never, ever, ever, there's another text, it's never, ever, ever their fault. And that's why so many people say no to this half-cent sales tax. Because we can't even get that part right. All right. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News up to the minute traffic. Here's Sabrina Katz.
And North Fort Myers still seeing double trouble on Pondella Road. There's a crash at Cleveland Avenue causing delays heading eastbound on Pondella towards the intersection, as well as you might experience some minor delays at June Parkway and Pondella Road from a crash that happened earlier. In Cape Coral, seeing minor delays as well on Del Prado heading south of Hancock Bridge Parkway. And if you're headed over the bridges right now from the Cape into Fort Myers, it's just a 2-minute commute on the Cape Coral Bridge. The Midpoint Bridge is a bit congested. We are seeing delays on State Road 82 from a crash at Griffin and 82 if you're coming out of Gateway. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
After our cool start with most in the 50s, our lowest temperatures since the spring, we're going to rebound for this afternoon on a beautiful day of weather. Get out and enjoy it. Sunshine for hours, sunny and dry with temperatures in the lower 80s. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. You know, your home's interior says a lot about you. It can highlight your interests, your personality. It can be bold, modern, muted, classic. Putting it all together should be exciting and fun. That's where professional design services come in. And the place to turn is Interiors by Augustino's in Naples. They are great. You can start with something as simple as a favorite chair, a swatch of fabric, or a feature color. The professional design team at Interiors by Augustino's works with you to determine your preferences and your tendencies. They match your tastes with the way you live to create a beautiful and functional space. And since Augustino's furniture is located in the same building, you'll be able to browse a myriad of styles and designs, including an incredible array of accessories, lamps, and art. Interiors by Augustino's, the very best in professional design services. On Tamiami Trail, just north of Immokalee Road in Naples, and online at interiorsbyaugustino's.com.
Attention. Help me out here. Okay, let's look at the issues. Term limits for Washington politicians. You for or against? Oh, we've got to have term limits. That's a no-brainer. Well, Scott is for term limits and Nelson is against them. Okay, next issue, taxes. Ugh, I'm sick of how much the government takes out of my paycheck. Okay, well, Rick Scott's a tax cutter, but Bill Nelson always votes for higher taxes. How about immigration? That one makes me mad. Why won't these politicians in Washington just secure the border? Well, Governor Scott wants secure borders, but Nelson takes the Nancy Pelosi approach. He even sponsored an open borders bill. That's it. I've heard enough. I'm voting for Rick Scott.
I'm Rick Scott. I'm a candidate for Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Rick Scott for Florida.
In life, it's best to have options. The more options, the better. But the one-size-fits-all approach is never an effective way to get the best possible outcome, especially when it comes to erectile dysfunction and intimacy with the one you love. The Fort Myers Men's Clinic Group has successfully treated over 20,000 ED patients. We know better than anyone that a one-trick pony or a copycat doctor's office doesn't work with men, and that's why men choose the Fort Myers Men's Clinic. We offer many different FDA-approved options to resolve your ED, not just one, and they're all administered by a Florida licensed medical physician. No matter your age or your medical condition, only the best clinical options to help determine what's best for you. If you're struggling with ED, don't trust the one-trick ponies. Trust the Fort Myers Men's Clinic. After all, 20,000 men can't be wrong. Call today for an appointment at 239-317-7777. That's 317-7777 or FortMyersMen'sClinic.com.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Todd's in beautiful Bonita. How do I know? Because he's on the phone right now. Hey, Todd.
Hey, Drew. How you doing?
I'm good. What's up?
I just have a couple comments and a quick question. I definitely voted against the sales tax. And if it does pass, what's going to happen next time they don't have enough money? They're going to have to raise another tax because they can't balance their checkbook. You know, they can't be good stewards of our money. And my question is, if it doesn't pass, I know you talked about this before. Isn't there an issue on loans that the interest is out of control? How are they going to handle that?
Well, you know, they got to. If you've got loans, right, just like everybody else, just like you and I, or businesses, you know, you've got to, just like the federal government, you know, you've got to service loans, and there's an issue there with the service on the debt. And they're going to have to deal with that as well. The problem is that there's an issue, right? They need the money. There is that issue, Todd. But if you can't admit that you've made mistakes in the past, whether it's you or me or the federal government or the school district, if you can't admit it, then how can you ask for this half-cent sales tax in good conscience, knowing that you won't even owe up to the fact that there is a problem? And if the problem's been remedied, then prove that and then admit that you had a problem in the past. But if you won't, it makes it difficult for people. And thanks for the call, Todd. I appreciate it. It makes it difficult for people to want to do anything because they don't trust that the future is going to be any better because you can't even own up to the past. And it's unfortunate. Moose is in Cape Coral. Moose wanted to comment a little bit on something that we talked about earlier. A couple of things. Number one, Judicial Watch obtained exclusive information and photos from Guatemalan authorities revealing that, hey, there's some bad hombres that are in this group making their way to the southern border of the United States, that they recovered 7 unaccompanied minors from human smugglers. Please don't tell us that these are just poor, hungry folks who are trying to make their way out of the horrific conditions and the asylum that's needed.
Bon dia, Drew. Well, I really don't know, but I do know that the problem is slowly going to change just a little bit. There's a lot of happy Brazilians around the world today, and I live with one, and it's got nothing to do with football, a soccer ball, or anything like that. The Trump effect is trickling farther south of the border. Yesterday, and they do it on Sunday, which I love, we do it on Tuesday, Brazil had their national election. And they elected a new president, Bolsonaro, I believe is his name. I probably didn't pronounce it properly. But he is a Trump-like character, which has been created over the last couple of years. And he was elected yesterday in a large margin. A couple of weeks ago, they had their primary. I don't understand they have an open primary, but he went pretty well. And this is a big shot in the gut to what's going on in Central America, because the largest country down there, Brazil, which has a tremendous effect on the economy down there. But Trump had a huge effect on this election because this guy that is elected is very similar to him. Doesn't like crime, pretty rough hombre himself. And I can't wait for a comment from the White House and or some type of meeting down there, because I think that's going to help affect what's going to happen in Central America, Drew.
Yeah, oh, thanks for the call, Moose. I appreciate it. By the way, his mantra is Brazil above everything, God above everyone. By the way, that was the guy that 2 months ago, the left-wing opposition, political opposition, stabbed him. Remember that in an attempted assassination? Now he's the president.
This is Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News.
You know what made those Norman Rockwell moments so common way back when? It was a simpler time. Hi, it's Joseph Edison from Closet Factory. And not just because they had less stuff. Part of it was focusing and staying organized where you could make a difference. With Closet Factory, you don't need a lot of time to make it. That's what our master organizers are all about. Giving you a Norman Rockwell holiday for you and your family starts with our complimentary in-home design consultation. Call Closet Factory Fort Myers or visit closetfactory.com.
Southwest Florida HelpWanted.com presents the world's worst boss, the one who posts jobs on huge national job sites, looking for anyone with a pulse. We'll just call him Dave.
Team, I recently learned that a good boss has to know how to delegate. That means I get to have other people do the things I don't want to do. So from now on, Tina, you'll be driving me to work. Bill, here's my laundry. Jack, talk to my wife when she calls. Remember, you have to pretend you're interested or she gets really mad.
Don't work for a Dave. Find a boss you can respect. One who's looking for great and local talent at Southwest Florida HelpWanted.com. Local jobs that work.
Hey folks, Louis Bruno with Bruno Total Home. City of Fort Myers, Cape Coral, Charlotte County, and Collier County. We just had a customer walk into our office and they said about 4 years ago they used a different AC company to replace their air conditioning unit. And in the first 4 years, they've had an evaporator coil failure and a motor failure. And because they live right around the corner in Mediterra, they were wondering if we could just pop on by because the unit doesn't seem to be running right. Wouldn't you know, an AC unit that is less than 4 years old is continuing to break because of airflow. If you've heard my radio ads, you hear me say that airflow slowly kills your air conditioning system like cigarettes kill your lungs. This is exactly why I mailed out $500 gift cards. If you didn't get the gift card, call in today. When relaxing on your couch and you hear your thermostat click, don't think Bruno Total Home, just think Bruno.
Amendment 3 puts voters in charge of gambling in Florida. That's how it works in many places. Red states like Texas, blue states like California, big states like New York, and small ones like Rhode Island. Even gambling states like New Jersey put voters in charge. That's how it used to work in Florida, too. For decades, gambling issues were decided by voters. Then politicians took that power for themselves. Amendment 3 returns it to the people. In the last decade, casino lobbyists gave nearly $50 million to Florida politicians. So restoring voter control of gambling is a common sense safeguard that reduces corruption and empowers you. Voters across America already have this power. You should too. So vote for you by voting yes on Amendment 3. Paid political advertisement paid for by voters in charge. P.O. Box 1991, Orlando, Florida 32802.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. The first funerals will be tomorrow for the 11 people shot and killed at a synagogue in Pittsburgh Saturday. The accused murderer, Robert Bowers, is due in federal court today.
An FBI affidavit quotes him as saying during the rampage, "They are committing genocide to my people. I just want to kill Jews." The U.S. attorney has now indicated that he has started the process to seek the death penalty.
Fox's David Lee Miller in Pittsburgh. The man accused of sending explosives to critics of President Trump appears in federal court in Miami today.
Cesar Sayak, the 56-year-old accused pipe bomber, will make an initial appearance in court today. It's not expected to last long, probably just about 15 minutes. The judge will ask him if he has an attorney, and they will discuss the charges. He's not expected to make a plea at this point. In court, he'll likely be shackled by the arms, by the legs, and by the waist.
Fox's Steve Harrigan in Miami. This is Fox News.
Now, this is a Wink News update.
This is Corey Lazar with Wink News. 109 passengers are finally back home after they were stranded over the weekend at Southwest Florida International Airport. The Lee County Port Authority says Sun Country Airlines pilot Brian McTeams brought a loaded gun through the security line and arrested him. There was no other pilot available, so the flight was canceled. Passengers were given hotel rooms and meal vouchers, but some say they're still waiting for answers from the airline.
If you're a leader at Sun Country, you got to take ownership of this stuff, and you got to create transparency.
When questioned, the pilot said he forgot the weapon was in his bag. Reports say the pilot did have a permit to carry the weapon in Minnesota, but not in Florida. Hurricane Michael is now linked to 6 more deaths in Florida. Now the state's death toll is 35. 2 more deaths were confirmed in hard-hit Coastal Bay County, raising the total there to 21. 1 was also reported in Jackson County, and 3 more people died in Washington County. Michael slammed Florida's panhandle on October 10th. We'll get ready for some extra traffic at a very busy intersection in Cape Coral. Work on Hancock Bridge Parkway and Del Prado Boulevard starts today, and it's expected to wrap up in February. Crews will shut down lanes on Hancock during the day, and lanes on Del Prado will shut down at night. Crews are making 3 of the left turn lanes longer. I'm Corey Lazar, Wink News Now.
Wink News traffic.
A crash on the Midpoint Bridge right now is affecting traffic heading from the Cape into Fort Myers. Very, very busy. I would say go ahead and stick to the Cape Coral Bridge if you're headed that way. Also, still seeing a crash in North Fort Myers at Pondella and North Cleveland Avenue. We are seeing those delays heading northbound on 41 as you're headed towards the intersection. And if you are in Lehigh Acres, a crash at Griffin Drive and State Road 82 is still causing some minor delays on 82. I-75 US 41 up to speed right now, looking like a great option if you're heading to and from Lee and Collier County. Some minor delays in Collier County on Golden Gate Parkway. This is going to be near Santa Barbara. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
After our coolest start in months across the area, literally our lowest since the spring, we're going to rebound this afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, another beautiful fall day with highs for many in the 80s. As we look ahead to your Tuesday and Halloween, plenty of sunshine, few passing clouds for all the trick-or-treaters this year for your Wednesday evening. Looks good with only a few passing clouds. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Everyone deserves to feel good inside, and the experts at AC by Florida Comfort Systems know how to make you feel good inside your home with indoor comfort systems that are inside your budget. Get up to a $1,600 rebate or up to 72 months interest-free financing on a qualifying new Lennox system that will keep your comfort up and your utility bills down. Call AC by Florida Comfort Systems at 239-774-5501 or visit on the web at acbyfcs.com. License number CAC 057065.
Well, we did in Southwest Florida. We filled an entire cargo ship with over 200 old beat-up clunkers. At least 40 of you had to be towed in. Aaron Walker here from Naples Nissan. The ship has already set sail.
but I've had an overwhelming amount of customer requests to keep the $8,000 offer on the table. No idea what I'm going to do with all this old metal, but I'll give you one more chance to get $8,000 for that old piece of junk in your driveway. Missing bumper, a cracked windshield, no tires. I've seen it all. Do whatever you got to do to get it to me, and I'll give you a minimum of $8,000 to put towards a brand new 2018 Rogue, Murano, Maxima, or Titan. Hey, get rid of that old piece of trash for good. It's not safe. And then get $8,000 to put down on a brand new Nissan backed by a lifetime unlimited mile warranty. What more could you ask for? Bring your clunker to Naples Nissan on Pine Ridge Road, exit 107 off I-75, or visit naplesnissan.com. Offers with approved credit and cannot be combined.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
All right, it's Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News, 239-479-5592. Anytime you want to call or text into this program, we'd love to hear from you. Top 5 audio clips of the day. It's the 5 at 8:35. It is brought to you by HurricaneMoney.com. You know, there are people that are loving the weather we have right now, and they feel this cool temperature coming in, and they think, all right, that's the end of summer, maybe the end of hurricane season. That feeling, it feels good. Unfortunately, there are people still not feeling great because they still have some extensive damage, devastation from Hurricane Irma. I know it's hard to believe. Maybe that's you, an individual, HOA community, a business owner whose insurance company continues to string along your claim. You've been denied or lowballed. You need to immediately contact Naples attorney Lauren Hussey. Go to HurricaneMoney.com. That's HurricaneMoney.com right now and get the hurricane claim assistance you deserve today. Call Lauren Hussey at 239-360-IRMA. That's 239-360-4762, or you can go to HurricaneMoney.com. All right, top 5 audio clips of the day. It's the 5 at 8:35.
Drew's 5 at 8:35.
Number 5.
Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Red Sox win the World Series. 5-1 the final tonight. And the best team in baseball wins it all in 2018.
Little good news out there to start off the audio clips in case you didn't know, and I'm not sure there's anyone in Southwest Florida who doesn't know at this point, that the Boston Red Sox won the World Series last night, taking that game from the Dodgers, a team that for the second year in a row lost on their home field. Last year it was to the Astros, and this year to the Boston Red Sox. A big, hearty congratulations to the Boston Red Sox for their victory in the World Series last night.
Number 4.
Because right now, the only constitutional check against this sort of abhorrent behavior, again, a guy who was sending a message by time and time again, tweeting about baseball or talking about his bad hair day there, that was done intentionally to send a message to white nationalists.
Wait. Did Joe Scarborough this morning just say that when the president of the United States was watching the World Series over the weekend and questioning calls that happened during, it was game 4, I believe it was, that were made by the LA Dodgers and the manager, that his tweet about the questionable calls that everybody was watching was coded messages to white nationalists. I'm not suggesting that the left is completely unhinged, and so is Scarborough, but yes, I am.
Number 3.
Speaking of unhinged, do you know what that sound is? That's the sound of protesting. Do you know when that protest happened? That happened yesterday. Do you know where it happened? It happened in Tennessee. Do you know who it happened to? It happened to GOP Representative Marsha Blackburn, who is running for Senate. And do you know why it happened? Because it was a leftist, Black Lives Matter of a woman who was screaming that Marsha Blackburn was a white nationalist during a moment of silence for those that were shot and killed in Pittsburgh at the Tree of Life Synagogue. What do you say? Seriously, what do you say about this at this point?
Number 2.
We're going to talk about 2020 in a minute. Do you want to run again?
No.
Wait.
No.
That was a pause.
Well, I'd like to be president.
Okay.
I just don't want to run ever. Do I have to run if I run for... There's Hillary Clinton yesterday saying she might run for president. I just wanted to be able to play the laughing clip. That was really... I just needed some levity here.
Number 1.
Our lives, as much as I may have criticisms of how law enforcement operates in this country, they are still our line of defense against maniacs and terrorists out there. But I have to say, Nicole, and this has always been a problem with this president, he has always shown a sympathy or a dismissiveness towards terrorism.
That was an MSNBC contributor who called the President of the United States a terrorist sympathizer. Now, I'm just asking the question.
Drew's 5 at 8:35.
And again, I would love to hear from you. Call or text 239-479-5592. Who is it? Who's doing it? Who's causing all the political division in this country? Who are the people that are doing it? Which side has made that decision to do it? And people are getting sick and tired and have been sick and tired for a long, long time of being told that you're the one. You are the one, GOP. You're the one, conservatives. You're the one, Donald Trump. You're the one that is causing all the hatred in this country, all the political divisiveness, the division in this country. It's your fault. And too many times, Republicans, conservatives were told that very thing. And too many times, people sat back and didn't fight back. And didn't fight back verbally, not physical altercations. Nobody is suggesting that. Everything that happened this weekend, the horrific incident, the horrific tragedy that happened in Pittsburgh. The city's still reeling from this shooting at the Tree of Life congregation in the city's largest historically Jewish neighborhood. It's been described as the deadliest attack on the Jewish community in the history of the U.S. The ages from 54 to 97, 2 middle-aged brothers who were best friends, an elderly husband and wife, a grandmother nearing 100 years of age who survived the Holocaust. These victims, this horrific situation, this horrific incident that took place, which, by the way, 29 federal counts, including hate crimes, and the possibility that there would be a death penalty. The DOJ is talking about that. That this suggestion that somehow all of this that happened, that has been taking place throughout the weekend, somehow all of the evil that is happening right now in our world, in our country, these horrific things that are happening are somehow at the feet of Donald Trump, of the GOP, of conservatives. Listen, you have a former president that has decided to take sides on this when it comes to conservatives. Yesterday.
I'd like to think there are compassionate conservatives out there who think there's nothing compassionate about ripping immigrant children from the arms of their mothers at the border and putting them in pens.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is what the former president of the United States says when he's talking about conservatives? Ripping kids out of their mother's arms and putting them in pens, talking about the issues of immigration. Excuse me, you're talking about the policies that you put in place. That's unbelievable. The rhetoric that is going on right now. This atmosphere of hate and division, and we're supposed to believe that it started with Donald Trump. Does anybody believe that? Honestly, even Democrats that are listening to this program, do you honestly believe that? You can't. Oh, maybe you do. You know, there are so many things that you can talk about right now when it comes to this issue. Number one, you realize that this president is here in office right now because so many people saw what the left was doing for years and years and years and was tired of it and wanted somebody to stand up and fight for them, for conservative causes, for the party, against the left, against the hate. Because they were tired of people like Mitt Romney and John McCain being called out for reasons that they could not understand. Mitt Romney, do you honestly think that the binder's full of women, do you really think that Mitt Romney had something going on the side? Do you really think that Mitt Romney was strapping dogs to the roof of cars? I mean, that's not even the worst of it, right? Some of the horrific things that were said. John McCain, who was trying to take the high road, so to speak, you know, when we take the high road, okay. When John McCain was trying to take the high road at a time when there were people in the audience, if you remember that the woman that was saying that Barack Obama was a Muslim, and no, ma'am. And started to try to diffuse the situation, to try to calm everyone down, to try to take the high road, so to speak. And what happens? Do you know what happens? The people that are talking about and bemoaning all the things that are happening right now in this country and the national discourse, they're the ones that are mostly responsible for this, and you know it. And you know it. Because they tore John McCain up and down and sideways, even though he was trying to do that, trying to take the high road in the election. The left wasn't having it. Democrats weren't having it. I know Lee in Naples is saying, please, liberals, Democrats, call the show and explain how all the hate started with President Trump. They won't, Lee, and the reason why they won't is because they honestly in their hearts know that it didn't start with him. And I'm giving you all the answers, all the reasons how we know this. I played some of the audio. I just played the president after the fact, everything that went on this weekend. And still is going to call out the compassion of conservative compassion. They don't have it because they have no problem having babies ripped out of mom's arms and stuck in pens. Who does? What are you talking about? You know, you go back to a lot of different things that have been said in the past. And this notion, this realization that it's never going to end. Donald Trump will not be president of the United States and available to fight for you, conservatives, Republicans, GOP, forever. Somebody else is going to be in that position, and they're going to have to fight back. Not physically. We're not talking about physical altercations. That's not what we do. Conservatives do not do that. But you understand what I'm saying. I'm also saying that if the president were to go away tomorrow and just decide, hey, look, I'm good. I did a good job. I'm done. I'm going to give it off to Mike Pence. I'm out. Or if he were to do what the media is saying for him to do, which is kind of, you know, he's got to stop with his hateful rhetoric. You do realize that if he stops on the left, it's never going to end. Never, ever, ever will this end because it didn't begin with him and it's not going to end with him. And you all know it. You all know it. And it is the shame of the state of affairs here in this country politically and at a lot of levels. I don't know how people have been able to, in good conscience, blame the president for the horrific shooting in Pittsburgh at the synagogue. But they've tried. They've tried to do it. You know, you have people like David Hogg, who you knew was going to come along sooner or later and have something to say about it, right? About guns. And
America doesn't have higher rates of mental illness or any of the other key demographics that tend to typically explain gun violence in other countries?
I don't know. Ask the World Health Organization. They're the ones that are talking about the fact that this country has the third worst overall mental health problem in the world. So David Hogg doesn't have his facts straight, but he's got one thing straight, though.
When they say the only thing that can stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun, what they're trying to do is sell you two guns.
I'm just going to leave that right here. 239-479-5592, the phone number. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. All right, started off a little chilly. How does the rest of the day look? Let's find out right now with Wink News meteorologist Matt Devitt.
After our cool start with most in the 50s, our lowest temperatures since the spring, we're going to rebound for this afternoon on a beautiful day of weather. Get out and enjoy it. Sunshine for hours, sunny and dry with temperatures in the lower 80s. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour. Tonight on Wink News at 6. From barking like a champ to fierce tail wagging.
Hey, boy. Yeah, hi. That was a good boy.
What would your dog do if confronted by a stranger?
He wanted to get petted, and then he showed me how he can jump nicely on the couch.
Wink goes undercover to reveal how average family pets protect their homes when their owners are away.
Good boy.
See the fascinating results.
Great watchdog.
Tonight on Wink News at 6. Next live, Kerry Washington.
I always have to, bring my A game when I come here because you're so cute.
Plus, Omari Hardwick, Dean Lewis performs, and Wednesday.
This is the show we've been waiting for.
It's Live's Halloween show.
So many costumes, it will shock you.
With a Facebook Live pre-show.
How's my hair, Ryan?
Smoky.
Live with Kelly and Ryan this morning at 9 on Wink TV.
Sailfish boats designed by anglers. Looking for a center console or dual console fishing boat with a comfortable interior? Take a close look at the Sailfish boats at Boaters Landing. With the new 2019 models arriving from the 245DC to the latest 360cc, you'll find deep cockpits, a smooth ride, comfortable seating for everyone, and quality throughout. Delivering the dream for over 30 years.
The time is here. Dixie Buick GMC's 2018 model closeout has begun. Incredible price reductions that only happen once a year. Prices on all in-stock 2018 Buick Encores, Envisions, Enclaves, Regals, and LaCrosse are slashed. Save thousands on 2018 in-stock GMC Sierras, Yukons, Canyons, Acadias, and Terrains. The 2019 models are coming. The 2018 savings are here right now. Don't miss the greatest savings of the year, today and tomorrow only at Dixie Buick GMC. We don't just promise, we deliver the best vehicles at the lowest prices in town.
Hey, quick question. If I asked you for, $1,000 because I said I needed food for my son, but used it on golf clubs instead, would you give me the money?
No.
Or I needed your money to give John a raise, a big one.
Wait, your employee John? No offense, but he's ruining you financially. Hold on. Is Bob asking you for money again?
Yes.
How many times do I have to tell you? Say no to Bob.
I know.
Sound familiar? That's because it is. The Lee County School District gives the superintendent a raise when they say the district needs more money, being $10 million over budget on the Bonita Springs High School. The district using millions of your tax dollars for unauthorized expenses? Well, this decision seems easy. Guys,
just say no.
Say no to the half-cent sales tax.
Paid political advertisement paid for by Conservative Coalition for Florida's Future. 4645 Southeast 11th Blaze, number 104, Cape Coral, Florida 33904.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
All right, let's go to the phones. It's Daybreak, 239-479-5592. There's Valerie. She's in beautiful Fort Myers. How do I know? Because here she is.
Hi, Drew.
Hi.
Good to hear you this morning.
Good to hear from you, too.
Thank you. I just want to call in regarding what you've been talking about, and it's something that was on my mind all weekend, and I had this epiphany of what needs to be done. Is Fox needs to go back to 2016, pre-election, or, maybe election day, and create a show, make a tape of every negative, hateful
disgusting rhetoric that has come out of every movie star's mouth, every politician's mouth, and identify them at the beginning, say, here's so-and-so, let the hate flow. And, it's the proof of what you're saying this morning. You can say it. You can say it all day long. And I know it's true because I've been listening to the news and listening to the disgusting hate that's coming out of the mouths of the other side. And we just need to hear it. I mean, if you hear, and even the late night talk shows and what's supposed to be comedy now, we don't even watch any of that. We haven't for a long time.
Yeah. Well, let me say this, Valerie.
We need to hear it.
Yeah.
And I have to say, we were just recently in New York, and we were wearing our Proudly I Stand for the Flag shirts, and we were afraid to walk on the streets.
Yeah.
And we wore jackets until we got over to Fox News, because at 7 o'clock in the morning, we were afraid in our own country, on the sidewalk, in the daylight, we were afraid of being attacked because, and we weren't saying anything political. We were saying something American, we were saying proudly we stand for the flag. That's all.
Well, Val, let me say this, a couple of things. Number one, I can't believe that we are waking up this morning and there are people of faith that are going to be afraid to go to their place of worship.
Right.
That to me is
that sad? Isn't that sad in the United States?
That's bad. Sure, and we're talking about this country, and I'm sad that that's the case. I understand what you're trying to say about playing the audio and hearing from these people, but you do understand that everybody knows. They know as well. The left doesn't care. They're going to make sure that they continue the rhetoric.
It might really re-energize people to get out. We've got one more week. I voted on Saturday, but you've got one more week to really piss people off, really piss the Republicans off, so that they do go pick up their family and friends that are sloughing off on the voting, saying, "Oh no, I don't have time. I got to work. I got whatever." It would be motivational, I think. I think you might be able to find a lot of advertisers that would support that kind of program. Of course, it would be a 6-hour, 8-hour program. I have no idea how long it would be.
Would it be wildly successful?
I think it would.
Could I host it?
Could you, if you would.
Okay.
Like I said, if you could introduce the people in the beginning.
Yes, I know. All right, Valerie, we got to run. I'm sorry. We're up against a hard break. Okay. Listen, have a great day. Glenn Beck is next, and we'll see you in the morning.
This is